And welcome back everybody to World Team League Winter 2022 Code. Hey, I'm your host, of course, Light VIP, and with me is the one, the only, the casting cat himself. Welcome once again, AsherBro.
Meow. I scared him. I scared the real casting cat.
Oh my god. Welcome, Asher. Welcome. We were able to actually have a little bit of a break. This isn't day one. This is day 2 of Code A. But, mate, it feels good to say it. Asher, we're in Code A.
Let's go. We're in the big boy leagues, and this is a very important match we've got coming up here. There is, of course, a lower bracket, so it's not the be all and end all, but it would be really awesome to be able to progress further into this upper bracket.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket. Over the weekend, we fought our hearts out. Everyone did to make it into the World Team League main event, to make it into Code A, and now here we are. There are plenty of teams available here. And yesterday, a bunch of them were able to play it out. Platinum Heroes, Berserker Esports, License to Kill, and Onside Gaming. But here we are against Invictus Gaming in a best of 7. And our first matchups, they fielded the players. Mate, we're getting caffeinated. Let's go.
Yeah, here we go. This is a Terran player I'm very familiar with. It is Coffee, and he will be going up against our very own PattyMac.
Oh, exactly. In a bit of a best of 2 series. Here we go. We are loading on in. We are not the only casters today. I believe Wardy is casting over on his channel. I believe we have the Taiwanese casters and the Chinese casters as we get into our first game.
And here we have spawning in the upper right hand corner of the map. It is the Chinese Terran in the blue. He is playing for Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Waterfall ESL, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, hailing from the land of the Americas. He is the Red Protoss. He is PattyMac.
Yeah, here we go. So previously in the last couple of series that we played out, we have only been able to see PattyMac's PvP. So I'm pretty excited to see what his PvT is like. Can you tell me anything about, like, stylistically what he's like in the matchup, or?
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky enough to cast him. We had a show match against Alpha X like maybe 2 weeks ago now, and we saw PattyMac against Future, and at the time he was going for a relatively kind of like mass gateway reliance style, delaying things like his Colossus, delaying his splash damage by quite a bit. I say delaying his splash damage. He actually went like Fast Storm, if I recall, against Future, which is a really risky style to play. But at the same time, I don't know if his previous TVPs are much to say anything about this matchup, because this is, like, again, a very unique and stylistic Terran player.
Yeah, Coffee's a very aggressive player in most matchups, but I will say as well, the meta in TVP has been shifting a little bit lately, being driven by Maru and Hero, who are both the leaders for the different races. So Maru's been playing a lot of this double gas style that we're seeing out of Coffee. And normally I would say that it's a very aggressive style that is more particular to him, but it's actually quite in the meta now. And I will say as well, Storm for the Protoss has been in the meta a little bit as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these players adapt to all the new information that's coming out.
Yeah, the other, of course, important thing to take note of is that in this team league, we do see players, we've seen a lot of really aggressive styles from a lot of different teams, just because it's a relatively short series and all you have to do is take a game, and then suddenly your opponent is no longer going to be a part of the matchup, of the series. It's really cutthroat like that. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Coffee does, whip out one of his more unorthodox builds, but for the time being, as you were pointing out, everything's looking, for the most part, a little bit more standard.
Yeah, very true. And PattyMac scouting the double gas as well. I will expect him to going for a Stargate, considering the double Adept and that he's seen the double gas. It's a pretty good response to that. I can see Coffee flexing his micro skills a little bit there, getting some extra shots off with the Reaper on the Adept. It's very hard to juggle that distance.
Yeah, it really is. And Coffee's able to keep everything alive. We do see that actually PattyMac opts to go for the Twilight Council instead. So not going to go for any kind of greedier Stargate style. Going to be relying a lot more on his initial gateway units. I don't see him pulling a Haas. I don't see him going into like Glaive Adepts or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, it is interesting though that he's gone for 3 adepts here, so this is a pretty aggressive way to open it up. He will be able to try to track these 2 units, so we've got the Hellion sneaking in at the back and the Reapers sneaking in up the top, but we'll take out this Hellion pretty easily, but a few probes going down to the Reapers at the top.
Yeah, exactly. Only 1 adept was here to chase down these Reapers. 3 probes already going down, maybe even a 4th as the Reapers go towards the low ground. There was 1 adept ready and waiting, and it looks like this will be cleaned up, but not before dealing a decent amount of damage and also getting a full scout of the main base.
Yeah, good scouting there. A lot of mining time wasted in the main base as well. And he does scout that there is that Twilight. So we are seeing, it does look like just a 2-gate blink out of PattyMac with a little bit of extra aggression with these adepts. And I like this mine positioning by Coffee as well, just being a little bit sneaky with those, but they are scouted.
Yeah, exactly. They just happen to load up just as the adepts rock up, so the Woodmine shots will not slow them down. The adepts are looking to shade on in, and there is a bunker, but they can get behind the mineral line. They can force a lot less mining time.
Yeah, a lot of aggression coming out of PattyMac, being very annoying with these adepts here. We'll be taking out these Marines as well, and that's because on the other side of the map, Coffee is distracted, getting his mine drop in.
Yeah, exactly. We have 1 Widowmine here in the main base. Looks like shot's going to go off, and it will get 2 probes for a shovel. A second Widowmine here at the natural. Has PattyMac noticed? It looks like he barely has, and he will get 2 more here for 1 Widowmine. Not bad.
Yeah, just 1 Mine going down and that drop getting out. That is more than worth it for Coffee. But meanwhile, these adepts on the other side of the map getting quite a lot of damage, getting 3 SCVs for themselves. So PattyMac manages to deal a bit of damage himself and even things up. And more importantly, he is going for the DT shrine, but it does look like Coffee might have scouted that when he brought his drop in.
Yeah, quickly looking at the vision here, he did indeed see that dark shrine in the end, so he's fully aware of it. We already have a Raven here. We're already, never mind, we don't even need to bank up energy because of said Raven. And there was like a little bit of a back and forth, right? Both players are losing a couple of workers. I will say that Coffee did lose additional Marines, which I think will slow him down a little bit more, so maybe PattyMac coming out a little bit ahead. But what's important is that this mine is still alive, and Coffee, mate, he wants some more damage.
Yeah, a lot of potential for damage here, and more importantly, he's getting a lot of scouting. He's seeing all these gateways coming down, so he will have some idea, but PattyMac, yeah, a little bit slow on the draw there. Does lose a few probes though.
Yeah, 4 probes do go down. It could have been worse, don't get us wrong, especially because PattyMac didn't react to the drop. Oh god, and this is just going to force him to leave some more supply here in his main base as the drop is still alive. And again, just confirming that the Dark Shrine wasn't cancelled.
Yeah, the Dark Shrine wasn't cancelled, and Blink was finished as well, so it does look like PattyMac going to be going for 2 prongs of attack here, just sending DTs in through the top, and once he sees this Raven is committed to attacking this, he will be able to send another into the natural.
Oh, exactly, and it does head into the natural base. At the same time, in comes that Widowmine from earlier. Another shot goes off. This time, more damage being done. 5 probes go down. Finally, this will be cleaned up, but these Widowmines have more than paid for themselves.
Yeah, really fantastic management of attention by Coffee here, managing to get that mine drop down while defending both of his bases from the DTs. So he does find himself with a reasonable lead here.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know, evening up the workers is always a good thing for the Terran players. But PattyMac, you know, he has his 3rd base up and running. He was finally able to clean up that drop, the medevac specifically as well. Speaking of, as the medevac does get picked off here in the middle of the map, but we do see that Coffee is pushing out across the map with Stim.
Yeah, he's starting to move out across the map. He does have the concussive as well, so he will be able to catch this. Has a concussive on the way, sorry. I thought he had the concussive there. So not quite able to catch those stalkers. That's a nice little advantage for PattyMac that he has.
Yeah, did bait out a bit of a stim there, forces the scan, just so Coffee makes sure there's no weird 2-base all-in going on. We do have a 3rd base, and it is, you know, on the way to being saturated. Meanwhile, the Prism is still alive, so PattyMac's going to continue to be a little bit annoying here, but there is a missile turret, so yeah, the DT shouldn't get too much damage done, only like a little bit of lost mining time.
Yeah, a little bit of lost mining time. We do see that little fossil carcass of that SCV there, but we do have a little bit of an Artosis pylon here as well in the main, so PattyMac will have to get back here as fast as he can to defend that, because that's a lot of his production that will go down if that's taken out.
Exactly. We had a shield battery, we had an overcharge. It was forced out, was focused down as well. Oh my god, the target fire here by Coffee does get 7 probes.
We had nice micro coming out there from Coffee, and that's a lot of damage to a PattyMac who is already pretty far behind from the opener.
Yeah, exactly. And now here we go. The 1-2 punch. Coffee headed towards the 3rd base location. PattyMac is being pulled apart because of another drop into his main base. He has to defend one of them, and it looks like he may just lose his 3rd.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to have to sack his third, even losing a lot of the probes there. He's going to defend the main with the DTs, just saving a bit of his attention. And he will save the third, but with all the probes and all the mining time going down, this is just going to keep spiraling.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he's going to be able to maybe clean this up in the end. The Raven will go down some with the rest of the bio. So PattyMac's going to be okay here when it comes to his army, but he just lost so many probes over the course of this game. Oh.
Yeah, and this drop isn't finished just yet. Coffee just being so annoying with this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm afraid to look, but looking at the units lost tab, 34 probes have gone down. Again, in the beginning of the game, PattyMac was kind of keeping up when it came to the damage that was being dealt to each other, but now he's falling further and further behind. He is so pressured right now to deal some damage, warping in a couple of these sentries. Can he take a fight? I mean, there aren't any tanks, to be fair. A lot of the bio was kind of was eliminated as it went across the map. There are a couple of Widowmine shots, but like a couple of Widowmines, but maybe PattyMac can get something done.
Yeah, I will note as well, Coffee's been very aggressive with his build so far. He's only throwing down his third just now. It's a very late third and a very late fourth and fifth rack. So he did commit quite a lot to getting that damage across the map.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And to be fair, he's still dealing even more damage as we have another little bit of a drop here. At the same time, another drop towards the third base. I feel like this should be forcing PattyMac's hand. The longer this goes on, the more likely actually Coffee is holding as he's just rallying more and more here towards his natural.
Yeah, that mine drop at the third, they're just taking out 5 of the probes there. And it does look like he's kept this Marauder alive as well, so that's just going to keep taking out probes. And Coffee doing so much with so little here has been so making the most out of his units.
Yeah, exactly. But here we go. Oh, we have a scan on the main army as well. So PattyMac has been spotted now. Coffee is fully aware. We have 3 Widowmines already borrowed here as well. We have another drop. GG gets called. Coffee takes the first game.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough start there for the Ducklings, but this is definitely a very short map. So the first map in each of these series isn't chosen by the players, and this waterfall can be a really rough map for TVP.
Oof. It really can be. It really can be. It feels bad, man. Oh my god. It does. PattyMac's been really unlucky when it comes to maps. If you recall.
Yeah, he really has. Yeah.
He kept getting Stargazer, so he doesn't even play on it. Now he's stuck on a Terran map like Waterfall, Kappa. Oh god. But hopefully things turn for the better here as we are going to be getting into game number 2. And we are also switching over to the land of the Americas.
Yeah, that's right. So that does change a little bit how the ping matchup will work as well. You could see that some of those drops as well, Coffee was really able to use his multitask and aggression to great effect, and I think the ping being a little bit more on PattyMac's side will help him slightly with reacting to things like those mine drops.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely hope so. It's one of those things where it's not just ping affecting your reaction time, but it's also ping just like influencing your game state a little bit, and it can just throw you off, and it can not necessarily be tilting, but again just make you uncomfortable, and it can be even more difficult to keep up with this sort of aggression. So of course in game 1 Coffee did have the ping advantage. Here in game 2 the turns will table a little bit and PattyMac will have a bit of a better shot.
Yeah, that's right. And mine drops are one of those things that, you know, everyone loves to complain about them. They're very annoying to defend. I'll give you guys that. But they can also, that is one of those things where those split seconds with the ping actually could be the difference between 1 probe going down or 4. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that makes a difference here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It will be, as we are going to be getting into game number 2. Again, this tells me that PattyMac is already going to be taken out in this series, but he has a chance to bring Coffee down with him, and I believe he can. Honestly, talking a little bit about the matchups themselves, I'm a little bit surprised that Coffee was fielded so early. Like, in my opinion, I feel like Coffee's arguably the strongest player on Invictus Gaming right now, and to throw him out at the start is a bold move from the team.
Yeah, Coffee is an extremely strong player, and I will have to say I was kind of hoping that Vindicta would get him because they have been doing very well. He has been doing very well against him on the ladder, but I'm still confident in our boys. I know PattyMac, the last couple of series, he did go down in the first one when he didn't quite have the map that he wanted and was able to take the second one, so I'm confident in his ability to tie things back up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh. I believe so as well. I believe. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Kuro because everyone in the chat should be able to see our scene right now. And Kuro has been working on spreadsheets as she usually does. And she has made a special spreadsheet just to display the scores, just to display all the matchups. And it looks pretty sleek. It looks pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, very nice. We do have that updated graphics. We've got that professional production.
I like how you're like, yeah, it looks so good. You're like,
Yeah.
I can't even
Take your
see
word for it.
It'll be on stream soon. In 2 minutes, it'll be on stream. I promise. I promise you, mate. It looks amazing. It looks amazing.
You know, I don't even need to see it. I believe you.
Yeah.
I have faith in the team captain.
Oh my god. Well, with that, it looks like our players are just getting ready. I'm just inviting all the casters, getting everyone involved. And once the players are prepared, we will be getting into our second game here on Inside and Out.
Yeah, we do have Inside and Out coming up, which is, of course, the map with a certain company burning in the middle of it. I keep forgetting that, and then I just kind of sometimes you swoosh past it and you hear the crackling of the fire, and you're like, oh yeah, it's kind of wild. That day.
Oh my god. Yeah, F's in the chat for Blizzard. Oh my god. But despite that company being on fire in the middle of the map, I'm hoping that it won't be a duckling on fire. We'll see.
Or maybe the ducklings will be on fire.
Oh,
you know, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of the map, we have the blue Terran playing for Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee.
And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the American Protoss player himself. He is red, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is PattyMac.
I can see the graphic now.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the Terran logo should be bigger than the Protoss logo though. Screw Protoss.
Whose team are you on? What are you talking about right now? Set aside your biases for one series, Puffy.
I can't do it.
You're like, oh, this is great.
I love this team Protoss. You know what? It's a win-win situation. Either I get to see Terran win or I get to see CranKy win, and I'm confident in the 1-1, so I get everything that I want. You know?
Awful. Yes, Asher. He is dubbed the Terran apologist, the Terran enjoyer. Shaking my head of the CranKy Ducklings. And to be fair, ever since you joined, we have had like an insurgence of Terrans on the team.
You love to see it.
Yeah. It's okay. Oh god. But so far, again, pretty standard openers. You know, PattyMac going for a bit of a probe scout across the map just to make sure that the Rax is at home, that the follow-up is going to be at home as well. There isn't any kind of weird proxy.
Yeah, we are seeing the double gas opener once again coming out from Coffee, so definitely going to favor that one again. Probably go for that fast mine drop. That has been just a very solid build that we've been seeing a lot in this meta. The fast mine drop, the Reaper harass, into a Raven as well. So gives you a good amount of aggression, gives you a lot of safety as well. But meanwhile, we'll have to see if PattyMac is going to switch things up a little bit in this series. We do see that probe going down, but it got plenty of scouting of what's going on.
Yeah, plenty of scouting confirms that the Reaper is going to be moving out across the map. We did see the last game, like for the most part, PattyMac was able to keep up with the initial Reaper aggression. We'll see if he can replicate that here when he does have a little bit of a better ping game state available to him, as the first Adept is chilling here on top of the Reaper cliff.
Yeah, so he's going for the double Adept again. He's just going to hide that probe as well, so very aware of the Reaper timing. So he's all over the... it has a good feel, I think, for how Coffee is playing this one out.
Yeah, definitely doesn't want to kind of leave anything to chance. So we go, second Adept comes out. Now he can rotate around and again just push this Reaper back. Meanwhile, across the map here for Coffee, going for a very similar opener. I say similar because he's playing this out safer, actually going for the CC on the high ground, and he only made one Reaper, no Hellions.
Yeah, so when you don't get the 2 Reaper, 1 Hellion, this is a variation that Mario has also been doing. Since you don't have those extra units to deal with an Adept, you can't really hold the low ground with the CC, so you just have to go for the high ground instead. But it does look like, yeah, Coffee has been favoring these Mario openers so far, and Really good adaptation by PattyMac. Does have the battery in the main in this time, so he's not going to be taking any damage.
Oh, exactly. That was really close, by the way. The pro barely got in range of that battery in the end. PattyMac shuts down that Reaper. Looking at the vision here, it looks like the Reaper was able to barely scout the Twilight Council as it was being built, so Coffee is aware of the opener once again.
Yeah, it looks like PattyMac going for a Blink opener once again, but probably not going to be going for the DT Shrine this time. This sneaky mine coming out from Coffee is going to take out one Adept and damage the second, so a little bit unfortunate, but it also means this mine will not be with the drop.
Oh my god, exactly. But you know what? The mine tries to scuttle away. Can it escape? PattyMac, he shades after it. At the same time, we do have not just one mine, but Marines going for a drop into the main base of PattyMac.
Yeah, very interesting mix-up coming out from Coffee here, and he is going to be able to drop in this dead zone here. Nice little scout by PattyMac with that probe. Very aware, very heads-up player.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. The Stalkers do rotate over into the main base as well. We do have a bit of a proxy pylon, sorry, a Narcosis pylon, but the shield battery will target it and will keep the pylon alive.
Yeah, PattyMac's defense has been much more solid in this game so far. He's been impregnable so far, and doing a really good job not losing too much. Even going to soak up this mine shot with the probe. Really nicely done.
Yeah, here we go. The pylon even survives. We had an overcharge. It was great to see him target and switch between both his units and that building at the same time. And now with this, he has a little bit of momentum. You know, the Widow Mines were cleaned up, the drop is pushed back, and now he can, you know, have a little bit more map control.
Yeah, meanwhile from Coffee, we are seeing a Liberator come out, so we'll be looking to set up a little bit of a multi-prong pressure with that one. This is a bit of an old school build, going for a tank push at the front and a Liberator in the back at the same time. So I do think once he gets his second tank, he might be looking to move out.
Yeah, exactly. I love the repair on the medevac as well. It did survive the initial push here, so Coffee was at least able to salvage that. Meanwhile, the Liberator, as you were saying, is going to chill here at least until the army pushes out, so we can try and distract PattyMac and get some damage done.
Yeah, and PattyMac just going to sneak forward with this Stalker attack. It's not too committed at this point, just getting a bit of map control, and if there's any push coming across the map, he can start to kite it along.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like they will miss each other. They don't quite spot each other's armies either. The medevac is looking quite exposed though. Ooh, but it does barely catch a glimpse of the warping in units.
Yeah, good reactions from Coffee, but this Stalker warping over here, this makes things very awkward for him. Because PattyMac can threaten to jump into the main, but yeah, good reactions by Coffee there, saving both tanks.
Yeah, that was so close. PattyMac was trying to dive on top of it as best he can. There we go now. Coffee initially planning to go for a little bit of a counterattack, is going to have to stay at home, and one tank already goes down.
Yeah, very aggressive movement by PattyMac. Does take a lot of damage on these Stalkers, but good micro with the Prism. He's going to be able to save a lot of them, and he's going to start skirmishing with the Marines now.
Yeah.
Looks like warping in 4 Stalkers at a time. This is a fully committed attack, but the Warp Prism goes down.
Yeah, the Warp Prism does go down. Now what you see is what you get at the same time. There was a Liberator. There still is a Liberator denying all this mining at the natural base of PattyMac. His attention is here across the map, though, and he's getting so much worker damage.
Yeah, very good recall. He's going to lose a few of these Stalkers, but 20 SCVs going down. Gets the Stalkers home as well. And this denied mining time, while it's a little bit annoying, doesn't quite make up for the damage that he himself has done. So this is a far better start. And more importantly, he's kept Coffee on Coffee's side of the map. So he's had control over this game.
Exactly. We were talking about it when the tank push was coming, right? Coffee wanted to be the aggressor. He wanted to make use of his army advantage, but he was forced to stay at home. The other important thing, the Observer did get sniped, but the Observer also saw the drop moving out. So if PattyMac was paying attention at the time, he should be well aware. It does keep a Stalker in position, but is barely going to miss this medevac.
Yeah, these Stalkers sharking around, seeing if they can find anything out on the map, but PattyMac realizes he won't be able to see it. Just going to leave a few Stalkers at the front to catch any move out, but Coffee wise to that as well, double checking with the Marines.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Only single Marine goes down at the same time. We do have a drop going into the main base here. The Stalkers do react here for PattyMac, so he's fully aware that it is coming. There is a shield battery. It was remade from earlier.
Yeah, shield battery was remade, but Coffee going to start to focus down some of these probes, but the shield battery overcharge is good here. He's going to take out the medevac as well, so this is just more of the Coffee supply going down. And while he's bought himself a little bit of room, I don't know if he can afford to be throwing away units like this.
Yeah, especially because it was a little bit of miscontrol there. He actually wasn't targeting down those probes. Every single probe survived. Only a single Zealot was tanking all of that, especially because of the overcharge. So another great defense here by PattyMac. Now he has his third base up and running. He's ahead in workers. He has his robo. Still not going for any kind of splash damage, just relying on a much more gateway heavy composition.
Yeah, it does look like PattyMac has been able to calm the nerves a little bit, get a good feel for how Coffee's playing things out, and his defense has been much more solid in this series. So finds himself with a nice lead, and now the the momentum is in his favor, and it's on Coffee to get a bit of damage across the map and get the momentum back.
Oh, yeah, it is. Meanwhile, he still doesn't have Concussive Shell, by the way, so he's just going to sim on forward, try and chase all of this back. I don't think PattyMac has recognized that there is a drop missing from that army. It is going to be a 4. Oh my god, a Widowmine drop headed into the main.
Yeah, sneaky Widowmine drop coming around. He's going to use that extra Widowmine just to deny the 4th as well if he can get there in time. But this one hasn't been reacted to yet by PattyMac. He does see it.
Oh, reacts just in time. 5 Widowmines are going to go down. 5 probes are going to go down. Meanwhile, there's 1 shot left. Up. Ooh.
Yeah, they're just going to target the Immortal, and it looks like Coffee's made an armory as well. A nice early armory just to get a little bit of extra annoyance with those Widowmines. PattyMac's going to have to build an Observer to clean them up, but meanwhile, the Marauder's pushing back these Stalkers at the front as well.
Yeah, they do force them back. Meanwhile, there was an Observer made. It looks like we're going to get a couple more shots off at least 1. Ooh, gets into the gas.
Yeah, Widowmine escaping into the gas and not too much damage done. We did see earlier as well, PattyMac was able to do a much better job avoiding those mines, so you can see the difference the ping is making there.
Yeah, it really is, whether it was the ping, whether it was the fact that he just needed to warm up because he just woke up, shaking my head. You know, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. As he still has that map control, Coffee looking to try and, I was going to say expand, there we go, 3rd CC is on the way, but for the time being, he's been working on nothing but army, sneaking out another Widowmine drop.
Yeah, Coffee's been trying as hard as he can to get a bit of map control back, but PattyMac's done a really good job keeping on top of him, keeping him inside the base, stopping him from getting on top of the 3rd here at all. Coffee's barely been able to leave his side of the map.
Oh god, exactly. Oh, meanwhile, a little bit of mis-targeting there. Oh, Widowmine shot is going to go off. 5 probes go down. Another Widowmine here into the natural base. Again, PattyMac, he does see this, but he only has Zelts to defend.
Yeah, nice reactions there on that one, but losing 5 probes to the other one. A little bit unfortunate. That I will say though that at this stage of the game, it's a little bit less punishing remaking those probes. You do have the 3 Nexuses, you got the Chronos as well, so not the end of the world losing this much at this stage of the game. Not quite as bad, but it does look like he has forgotten about this one.
Yeah, another shot goes off. That is 7 probes in total here. One of them was targeted down by those Zelts. But again, this is damage that Coffee needed to get done because of how desperate he was earlier, because of how many SCVs he lost himself, and he's been stuck on 2 bases. Like, any probe damage will keep Coffee in this game.
Yeah, that's right. He's only just going back up to his 3rd, only just finishing off his 3rd now, and it does look like PattyMac sneaking in a few DTs, but Coffee already had that turret up, already had that tank there defensively.
Oh, exactly. He was ready for it. Meanwhile, at the same time, the main army is getting caught out. A medevac will go down, but this was a bit of a distraction because here comes the other half.
Yeah, nice moves by Coffee here, but I'm not sure if he's really got enough supply to be able to do this. He's going to take out all these tanking Zealots at the front, but yeah, does recognize that he needs to get out of there, and he will just target it down as many probes as he can, getting 9 already. Yeah,
once again, just hindering the economy here of PattyMac. We don't have a 4th Nexus yet. He was actually getting ready for a drop into his main base. As we can see, there was none to be seen, but at least PattyMac does have vision on the main army, and he does see that Coffee is taking another base. Yeah, Coffee, to his credit, has been valiantly fighting back from behind, but it does look like PattyMac has assembled a little bit of an attack here, and he is going to be charging in. A few of those mines are going to start to go off. Does have Ghosts as well to start dealing with this army, and the EMP is going off in the entire army. The Colossus going down straight away. Yeah, especially without War Prism, this was not the fight to take for PattyMac. He's going to be losing everything here. The Immortal, the Colossus, and even these Stalkers. We have a bit of a recall to save whatever we can, but this was not the fight to take for PattyMac. Yeah, and just like that, the supplies swing wildly back in the other way, and there is no battery set up here at the 3rd, so Coffee has a timing here where he can be aggressive on the 3rd, and it's going to be pretty hard for PattyMac to get enough war pins here to defend. Yeah, exactly. Like, even one Colossus may not be good enough, especially without any kind of shield battery overcharge. There we go, the shield battery goes down immediately. We have a couple of force fields, and they will help out. Only two Vikings here for Coffee, and PattyMac, he's kind of forcing this back. Ugh. Yeah, nice force fields, but his army is just Stalker Colossus against some mass Marauders here of Coffee, and they just do not win this fight. Very nice micro coming out from PattyMac to blink away, but he's just not able to do it in the end, and Coffee taking the 2-0. GG. PattyMac, again, he had such a better start here in game number 2, dealing so much economic damage, but he was struggling a little bit against all the Widowmine harass, and that counterattack, it did feel a little bit too eager there for PattyMac, right? Like, I guess he thought he could hit a timing with his one Colossus and his Immortal, but yeah, it all kind of fell apart there and quickly swung in favor of the Terran.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, that does mean Coffee is going to be continuing on and knocking out PattyMac. So I will say, though, props to the CranKy Ducklings. This is only our first time that we've lost a best of 2 in this whole team league so far. So we've been doing such a great job, and I'm confident we're going to be able to fight back in this one.
Oh, I hope so as well. I hope so as well as... we are going to be getting ready for our next game. Again, shout out to PattyMac because this is the first time that he's been 2-0'd. And again, Coffee, at least in my opinion, is the ace player of Invictus Gaming. So if you're going to get 2-0'd by anyone, Coffee isn't a bad player to kind of fall to. So I wish the best of luck to PattyMac in the next games. If we do use him, you know, we will have a revive later on if we need it. But for now, we are going to be getting ready for our next game, and yeah, we have to figure out if we are moving over to Korea or not.
Yeah, meanwhile, I do see some of the Terrans in the chat from Vindicta's chat shouting out, "Make disruptors and DTs, get him!" It's so weird to see all the Terrans cheering for the Protoss. But unfortunately, Protoss was not strong enough on this day.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh god. You know, mate, PvT, it's unwinnable, man.
True. You know what? I'm going to agree with you. Just this once.
Oh my god. All it took was we had to play against another Terran player.
We just had to put something on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just had to find something that matters more.
Exactly.
And for an hour, I will say PvT is unwinnable.
Oh boy. Well, here we go. We are going to be continuing our series, and Dolan is going to be coming out for the CranKy Ducklings, and the map is going to be Cosmic Sapphire.
Yeah, so we will be playing on Cosmic Sapphire. Here we do have Dolan, a little bit of a... I want to say he can be a bit of a sniper with his builds. Dolan's got these crazy builds that can pick off anyone, really. So I do really like him as someone to take out the ace of Invictus.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were all really concerned about Coffee specifically. And if anyone's gonna do it, I believe in Dolan. You know, we want to save Vindicta for a little bit later on in the series, so hopefully, you know, we can slow down Invictus before that happens. But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting TVT. Are you too familiar with Dolan's TVT builds?
I'm not, and I think they're going to be crazy. Actually, I will say, I actually stole a few of his TVT builds from his YouTube video. So he's got a YouTube video with, I think one of them's a 1-base tank build, which is disgusting.
Excuse me? Is it proxied or is everything at home?
It might be a proxy starport, I'm not sure.
Ah, okay.
I don't know. I just kind of looked at it and went, that's disgusting. No thanks. And then the other one, which is equally disgusting, is a all-in version of a 3-axe Reaper. So he's got some nasty builds.
Okay. Interesting. Well, we may see some of that here as Dolan is asking for a little bit of a break, so it's going to be a little bit before we really get underway here, as he is going to come back. Oh, there we go. But yeah, I'm curious as well. Like, we haven't really been able to see too much of Dolan in WTL yet. He's been fielded a couple of times, don't get me wrong. But yeah, like I want to see more of what our duck has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing him a little bit recently in the ESL Open Cups, and he's got some wild builds, very aggressive builds. And as we saw in some of his matches previously, is very good at hiding his all-ins as well. Like, obviously, if you have a reputation as a bit more of an all-in player, someone who has these kind of weird offbeat cheeses that you're known for, that's something that you will have to start hiding with other builds, and he does such a good job of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're looking at the in-game chat.
Teasing the yellow, yeah. Telling him he has to play red, but he wants his yellow.
I know. He wants to rep the Ducklings, puppy. He wants to rep the Ducklings, but World Team League, they do require blue and red for ease of viewing. So I understand it. But here we go. We're loading into our second series. Can our Terran avenge our fallen Protoss?
And here we have in the top left-hand corner, starting off the series 2-0 in the best of 2. This is the Chinese Terran playing for Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire ESL, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, also from the land of the Americas. He is red, he is Dolan.
Alright, puppy. So, we have a Terran on our side now. It's time to be fully biased. Let's go. He's gonna wreck him. He's gonna destroy him.
he's gonna ape all over him, mate. He won't see it coming. Oh my god. He's gonna have to
There's
switch
nothing
his
he
name.
can do.
He's gonna have to switch his name to Decap after this one, mate. Oh my
Let's calm down here. We want to be friends after this game.
Oh god.
Aye.
Yes. If you
Look at
want,
this guy.
if you want the unbiased caster, you can head on over to Wardy. All right, we are fully biased here. Okay.
True. Yeah. Meanwhile, not seeing anything too crazy coming out from Dolan. Definitely nothing that I mentioned earlier with those proxy Rax Reapers or the proxy proxy Starport or anything like that. But we are just going to see standard builds coming out from both players so far. And I'm kind of curious, what kind of have you seen Dolan play more drawn out macro games before, or is he more of like someone who might go for like a 2-base or 3-base all in? Have you seen much of his TVT?
We were able to cast Dolan against Akedon a couple of weeks ago against Platinum Heroes, and they were all like 2-base all-ins.
Yeah, fair enough. I will say as well, Acheron is a very aggressive player in his own right, so
Yeah.
that would have been a wild series. But yeah, you do see this sometimes in TVTs, especially knowing that there's a best of 2. The players will often just play a bit safer and feel each other out in the first game, and then I think no holds barred for the second game. We'll be seeing the proxy Raxes, the proxy Starports, Factories, proxy BCs, Banshees, I don't know. Proxy everything, puppy.
Everything.
Nothing in the base.
Mate, you lift the main and you float over, you take the gold, mate. That's what you do.
Let's go.
As already the first Reaper for Dolan gets across the map, he's going to be able to force a delay on the CC. At the same time, Coffee actually, am I blind? No, okay, I thought he was moved out with his Reaper. He does turn around, goes back home.
Yeah, so Coffee just sneaking in. A little bit of extra scouting with his Reaper. This could be playing the player. Might be aware of the kind of player that he's up against and realizes that he does need to double check, just make sure that the factory is in fact inside the base, and he does so. So Dolan there just checking at the top of the ramp to make sure that there's nothing there before he goes in. He's going to try to get as many of these SCVs as he can.
Yeah, just a little bit lost my time so far. There we go. He will get a second SCV for his troubles. He gets the mule as well, a quite high energy, quite high timed mule at that. So not bad, as he also gets a full scout of the main.
Yeah, good little bit of damage. It's a little bit of a gamble diving in those 2 Reapers. You are hoping that your opponent has moved out, or at least that they're in the natural with their units. So getting a little bit unlucky there, but still getting good damage. And he has gone for a very safe build behind this, gone straight into the tech lab on the factory. So getting the early Cyclone, getting an early tank as well. And fortunately for him, he will finish his natural before these units arrive. So he should be quite safe to defend this one.
Yeah, there we go. We have a full wall up here on top of the ramp. We do see that CC has not been delayed by any means. So again, a great little start here for Dolan. He's even slightly ahead when it comes to that CC timing. So yeah, not a bad start at all.
Yeah, great reactions there, and quite importantly, he is ahead on the units as well. Coffee has committed quite a lot to these Reapers and Hellions. I didn't realize he's actually going for a 5 Reaper 3 Hellion build, so this is a very aggressive commitment, and Dolan has gone for almost one of the safest builds you can go for with that early tank, and this is a hard counter to what Coffee's gone for here.
Oh, exactly. So far he tests the waters and he will not find a way in, at least not with his Hellions. He can still kind of bypass all of this with his Reapers, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. The tank unfortunately not quite in position, but there is that Cyclone. Ooh, it's going to be focused down though.
Yeah, good reactions from Dolan. Does manage to sneak that Cyclone back away, but that does mean he's going to be taking a little bit of SCV damage, but very good job with the Marines just keeping the Reapers off of the Cyclone, and he will be able to grab one more for his troubles. And this has been a very solid defensive opener from Dolan.
Yeah, just completely shuts down all of the aggression here from Coffee, putting him a little bit behind, especially when it comes to that overall tank count. We do see back at home he is working on his own Ravens, and of course he can help come back with that depending on if he uses it aggressively, you know, to harass his opponent or not. But yeah, once again, solid start here for Dolan.
Yeah, that's right, and importantly, with this 3 Hellion opening, it does delay your first tank by quite a lot. So that does mean that Dolan will have a tank advantage, and that can convert into a tank push a little bit further down the line, especially if it's aware that Coffee likes to take his third base on location like this. That can be a little bit of a risk that Dolan can exploit.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And now we do see that he's feeling confident enough to move out here, and I don't blame him, right? Like, he's already got so much of an advantage here. We've got 3 tanks to the 1 of Coffee. We're already working on Viking production as well, so even though Dolan is behind when it comes to the Ravens, we even have a 3rd Raven coming out from Coffee. It may not matter because of those Vikings.
Yeah, he's pushing out a little bit early with the Vikings, and he does recognize that he does have the tank lead, so he has a good timing here where he will be slightly ahead on these tanks. So nice little spotter Marine there from Coffee. He's going to see this push on the way, but if Dolan can get some good matrixes with the Raven, it won't matter too much.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's going to be all about those matrices. It's going to be all about the positioning of those Vikings as well. At the same time, Coffee goes for a bit of a counterattack with his remaining Hellions and Reaper, and it looks like he will delay that 3rd.
Yeah, it does catch Dolan trying to get away with a little bit of a cheeky move, getting this 3rd on location behind his push here. So good counter by Coffee there, a nice micro there as well, getting those units out. But Dolan is still out on the map with this push, and if he can meet up with this extra tank, he does have a decent tank lead that he can start to exploit.
Oh, definitely, but I love the movement here from these Hellions. He actually does take control of the Zelnaga. He spots the entire army, and then now here we go. Coffee is the first to siege.
Yeah, Coffee is going to siege up early. He's going to take a volley on those Marines for Dolan. So Coffee doing a very good job just zoning out this army, but Dolan still does have the tank lead. There is a bit of pressure on him, though, to start getting something done with this push, as those Ravens just keep building up energy for Coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, we already have an auto turret just to zone away that army. Both armies are also able to take the siege. I mean, at least Dolan is getting his 3rd on location, but Coffee already has his up and running.
Yeah, that's right. And with Dolan skipping a couple of his Ravens, only going for 1 Raven, he does have quite a Viking lead. So if he can start this slow push, which Coffee is recognizing the danger of, he can take out all these Ravens, but very good turrets, very good matrixes. It's a good start to the fight for Coffee.
Yeah, it is a good start. Meanwhile, the Vikings are going to land on top of all of these tanks. Is it going to be enough to break on through? The target fire is half decent, but 1 tank will survive in the end for Coffee.
Yeah, great target fire there. Going to take down quite a lot of these tanks, and taking down all the tanks of Coffee. He's going to take a lot of these SCVs out as well, so momentum in the favor of Dolan here.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we have a mass repair on that remaining tank for Coffee. He's going to be able to hold onto his 3rd base. Does lose 6 SCVs in the process, which is honestly pretty necessary here. Dolan was behind in that worker count, so he's slowly able to catch up.
Yeah, that's right, and all in all, we leave things in a fairly equal position. When we're looking at the infrastructure of both Terrans, things are pretty close. Coffee has gotten his Marine production started up a little bit earlier. His 1-1 is slightly in the lead as well, but Dolan remains with a slight tank lead, so both players have their own little advantages here.
Yeah, exactly. I think something also important about that little engagement is that Dolan was able to reset that Raven count, so thankfully he doesn't have to worry about that any longer, whether it's about harassing or, again, supporting the unit in the main fights. So yeah, both of them are able to deflect each other, and we're going to be getting into a longer game.
Yeah, that's right. Dolan just sending out a little Liberator harass here, but it looks like Coffee is all over that. He's going to be able to take out that Liberator quite quickly, though.
Yeah, Liberator will go down in the end. But Dolan even getting a sensor tower here at his 3rd base, so he's chill, just a turtle on up here on these bases. Working on the rest of his buy. Then we go 4th CC, going to be on the way as well.
Yeah, Dolan just playing a very standard progression in his TVT, but Coffee recognizing here that with the high Marine count, he is going to have a good amount of map presence, feels comfortable taking his 4th on location, and it does look like Dolan is aware that there is a little bit of pressure out on the map, sends out some spotters as well, so he will be on top of this for the moment.
Yeah, he will spot the drop here on the left-hand side. He can rotate over to keep up with it. As you were saying, Dolan just doesn't really have anywhere near as many Marines, so he has to be much more vigilant when it comes to his map awareness, just so he can rotate and make sure he is in position.
Yeah, that's right, but all in all, both players here are finding themselves in a fairly similar position. Coffee's doing a good job taking map control here. Does have a little bit more dominance over the map for the moment, but anything can happen in TVT, especially with the way that the tank sieges work. If anyone gets like a big volley with those tanks, it can change the tide straight away.
Yeah, exactly. As it typically is with TVT, it's the positional game. Doesn't matter if you have a bio lead. It doesn't matter if you have a tank lead. Who sieges first, who has the high ground. It's all about how the engagements work out. Quickly looking at the units tab here, even Coffee able to catch up in that Viking count as well, actually taking a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, Coffee playing a little bit unexpectedly here, going from the medevacs back into Vikings a little bit, and he will be slightly ahead on the Vikings, but it does look like both players not fighting too hard for that air control just yet. Coffee doing a good job with these Marines, just sending a few spotters forward. Will be aware that Dolan is starting to take this 4th base and could get a siege up early, but looks like Dolan on top of the movement of Coffee. Might even snap a tank out.
Oh yeah, exactly. He was able to scan just in time, is within range, and it looks like Dolan will be able to barely get one tank.
Yeah, that's right. Both players are kind of cancelling each other out there, and Coffee content just to back off, just to rotate from base to base and keep Dolan busy.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Coffee, it looks like he's going to be going for a little bit of a drop. There is a little bit of a blind spot here when it comes to the sensor towers into the main base of Dolan, so Dolan has to be a little bit careful about that. For the time being, he's able to at least keep an eye on the army, but I don't know if he's really noticed that there are some units missing.
Yeah, good scan there. He will be I definitely think he'll be aware that there is some missing there. He also has this Marine spotter. Oh, actually, it's a turret. I thought it was Marine out the side. This is really nice having this turret out here because it also gives you an alert that the unit's there.
Up!
Yeah, beautiful job there by Dolan. A little bit greedy by Coffee to still go for that drop after it's spotted.
Yeah, exactly. Coffee not quite respecting his opponent, but you know what? He rotates over. He is the first to siege up here. The rest of the army of Dolan's coming in a little bit late. Oh.
Yeah, the Marines just bunching up a little bit, going through these tanks, and it does look like Dolan snatched at this engagement a little bit. Slight miscontrol coming out from him, and Coffee's able to capitalize on that, dropping over the tanks with the lack of Marines.
Yeah, exactly. Not the best fight at all here for Dolan, losing so much of his Marines, and that may just be it. Like, Coffee's breaking on through. The 3rd base is now compromised. The Vikings are taking control of the sky as well.
Yeah, it does look like Coffee just caught him off guard a little bit, managed to jump on him really quickly there before Dolan was ready to rotate. And Dolan, yeah, just snatching at that engagement a little bit, and he will pay for it by losing his 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. He does have some reinforcements here that are going to be able to hold on to his base for a little bit longer. CC barely manages to survive. The SCV's trying to get in, trying to get that repair up, and it looks like he will keep this base alive. But now he is down an entire base compared to Coffee.
Yeah, that's right. He's completely lost that mining at the 3rd, and with these tanks set up here, it's going to be hard for him to re-establish control, but it does look like Coffee very aggressively going to be jumping straight on these tanks and not content with the damage he's got, fighting for more.
Yeah, exactly. Nice on siege there by Dolan. He's going to be able to shut down this drop, but his army is completely being distracted by this. Coffee is rotating over towards the linear 3rd base location. Instead, he does get the siege off first as well.
Yeah, Dolan realizing he's being dragged out of position just a second too late, and Coffee once again getting the position, and Dolan has no choice but to go for a counterattack here.
Yeah, exactly, and just like that, Coffee's able to see this rotation as well. He's able to scan just in time to recognize where the army is headed. It looks like Coffee's tanks are a little bit vulnerable here, though, so 2 of them are going to go down.
Yeah, a couple of them going down, but this is a desperation move from Dolan, and it doesn't really work out. GG is called.
GG gets called. Coffee taking another game here for Invictus Gaming. Things are honestly looking really good, especially after Dolan shut down that drop. But maybe he was a little bit like on cloud 9 a little bit when that happened, you know, maybe a little bit too excited, and had a pretty bad fight after that. Oof.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there, but Dolan, I do want to say he was holding his own in that game, and it was a more drawn-out macro game as well, so not the kind of game that we always see him going for, but he looked very strong up until that last moment in that one. It was just one key mistake that made things fall apart.
Yeah, and that's just sometimes how StarCraft is, you know, where you can be playing so well for so long, and then after one moment, one wrong move, that can cost you the entire game. Especially a move like that. So Coffee does maintain his presence here for Invictus Gaming, still hasn't dropped a single map. Oh boy, and Dolan, he's up against the wall right now. Like, again, he is going to get eliminated, but someone has to stop Coffee.
Yeah, someone's got to take him out, and if there's anyone who's up to the task of taking anyone out, it is Dolan and his crazy build, so I have confidence in him, and we'll have to see what he can pull out in this one. I do like his game plan heading into that first game, though. I wonder if it was trying to trick Coffee a little bit, going for more defensive build, kind of playing against his image there.
Yeah, I have to wonder that as well. Like, especially if you remember the opener where Coffee opened up, what was it, like 5 Reapers or something like that, right? Like he invested quite heavily in his early aggression and he just got shut down.
Yeah, Coffee went for 5 Reapers and 3 Hellions, and that can be something that can work very well against someone who's cutting corners, but it looks like Dolan had a good read on kind of the poker of the openings there, and got a really good start there.
Ooh, he did get a good start, but we'll see how his start is going to be here, as we have now hopped over to the Asia server. Game 2 is going to be on Moondance, and oh boy, this will kind of give a bit of an advantage to Coffee, in the sense that Coffee will have the ping advantage.
Yeah, Coffee does have the ping advantage, but I want to say Dolan has the map advantage because this is a map where there's a lot of cheeky stuff. There's a lot of potential for cheeky builds. There's a few little things that I've seen popping up here and there that you can do on this map that aren't really available on other maps due to the back base. I've seen that you can actually put a tank in that back base and float a Viking over the top, and it can hit the main mineral line. So there's a few cheeky things like that you can look to abuse, and I'm sure Dolan is well aware of the options that he has here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to see those signature Dolan builds. Like, I understand, he wanted to play it safe in game 1, but here in game number 2, like, now is your moment to shine. So like, I want to see what he has here. I want to see something a little bit different. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's right. Excited for this one, and has been a little bit of a rough start for the Ducklings so far, but we can bring it back.
We can
bring it back, puppy.
We can bring it back. I don't want to put everything on Vindicta again. I don't want to. I don't want to put the entire tournament on his shoulders. Not like this. Not like he woke up at like 4 a.m. today, man. 4 a.m. Ay.
Mate, we've made all these matches so close, so we just have to have even more drama. We're loving the drama. We've got to lap it up. So if we're just a little bit back and forth at the start of each game and it's in the balance, that's okay, but I think this time we want the Cinderella story.
We want the reverse sweep. Yeah. We'll see if it comes to that, because here we go. We are loading on in. You can hear the countdown timers. Dolan is still in this. We are getting into Moondance.
Here we go. Shout out as well in the chat to White Puma giving us the raid there. Thank you very much, and welcome all the White Puma viewers.
Welcome everyone. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. We are here in our Team League match against Invictus Gaming, and this is game 4.
Yeah, game 4, and so far undefeated. It is the Chinese Terran behemoth in the blue. It is Coffee.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Moondance ESL, getting proxied, we have the American Terran player himself representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Dolan.
Oh no. Okay, so this is the 3 racks with the 1 at home and the 2 out on the map, I believe.
Yep.
And 2 racks Reaper just hard counters this. This is a really, really rough build matchup. I don't want to kill the hype. I still believe that Dolan has played this situation out before, and he might have some cheeky tech that he's got here to try to deal with this, but all in all, this is a build order loss so far, so we'll have to see what he can make of the situation.
Yes, fingers crossed, puppy. Look, there's a chance. There's always a chance, okay? That's what I will say, Copium.
Always a chance, yeah.
Always a chance. As the Reapers are now beginning for all of our players here. Again, it's really cool to see Dolan going for his proxy 3 racks, but as you were saying, Coffee's gonna hit here stronger, faster, harder.
Yeah, this is a signature build of Dolan, and it's a very cheeky build. You can see when the SCV comes in from the normal scout, everything at the front looks completely normal. You just have the racks, you have the depot wall coming up as you normally would, and you can't really see further in to see if there's a factory coming up, so you kind of just have to assume there is, but the build that Coffee is going for, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, things can get weird maybe, like if he tries to evacuate the main base and try and keep things alive and both players end up losing all of their workers. Like there's a world where maybe that can happen, as the first Reaper for Dolan is going out across the map. Unfortunately, he wasn't checking for proxies. The first 2 Reapers of Coffee rock up.
Yeah, his 2 Reapers jump in. They're going straight for the gas SCVs, as is right. And yeah, you can see the problems here as well already. The gas bank a little bit better for Coffee, and he will be able to get more of these Reapers out. Dolan just going to stack up those probes, so he will have to try to fight these Reapers if he can. Even going to send a few of his Reapers home, so he's looking like he's aware of the situation. He knows that he is a defender here.
Oh yeah, but already loses one of his Reapers. The second barely escapes with his life as well. Looks like Dolan will reclaim control of his main base, but for how much longer, as everything's getting surrounded and his Reapers just get targeted down.
Yeah, Coffee chasing those Reapers down, cleaning them up, and he does take out the second game in the series. Bit of an unfortunate, bit of an unlucky one there.
Oof, GG, well played. Congratulations to Coffee, as he does take down another Duckling 2-0. Oh boy, and it is time to whip out the Vindicta, man. Like I feel so bad for Dolan. Like he was practicing so hard for this. He was preparing so much for this series as well, for this night. Same can be said for PattyMac, but today just wasn't their day. They do both get eliminated.
Yeah, unfortunately both going down to Coffee, and Coffee, very strong player in his own right. We knew he was going to be a difficult one to face. Very, very strong Terran, and he does manage to take those down. Definitely getting a little bit of luck as well in that second series, getting the build order win there, and that's one that doesn't really matter who you are. I don't think you can actually salvage those 2 builds matching up against each other, so really unlucky there.
It happens, man. It happens. Yeah. Unfortunately, there are just like build order wins and build order losses in StarCraft. They do exist. Unfortunately, they're not entirely common, but they are out there, and that's an example of that. Bit of a feels bad, man. But we're not out of it yet. We do have 1 player left to field, and that 1 player is going to be Vindicta.
Yeah, we do have Vindicta, who has been a little bit of a star player for the Ducklings so far. We have seen that he's gone 13-0 previously in the World Team League, and he does have a good record against Coffee on ladder, so I know he's going to be feeling very confident going into this one.
Oh yeah. Very confident indeed, but at the same time, I'm sure there's also going to be a little bit of nerves, a little bit of pressure. I guess he's not unfamiliar with that, but at the same time, we've also never been in this position. Oh boy, as we're just being notified, yes, we are going to start here in Korea and then head on over to North America.
Yeah, first game will be on Korea, so getting that ping advantage game out of the way in the first map, so that does help as well. If he was planning to go for a bit more of a safe build in the first map, you do prefer in TVT to go for the safer build when you don't have the ping advantage as well, so I do like how this is shaping up.
Oh boy. yeah, I like it as well. Again, we got to start the comeback somewhere, and I guess this is where it's going to be. Again, the scary thing about this is it is a best of 2, so Vindicta, mate, he's got to win every game from here. We do have a revive available as well. Oh god, but Vindicta, he's got the mountains of crime. He's got to carry once again.
Yeah, once again, the weight is on his shoulders, but he's shown himself very capable. We believe in him. Here we go. We are just hosting up this first map.
Yes, we are going to be hosting it up. It is going to be on Data Under the Sea. So that will be our map of choice, or will be the predetermined map here. Oh boy. Everyone in the chat, Vindicta needs you right now. He needs you, he needs us, he needs everyone right now to give him his energy, because he's got to take down Coffee, he's got to take down Maxed, and he's got to take down XY.
He needs your energy, boys. If we got subs in the chat, I want to see the Gigamigs. I want to see you spam your Gigamigs. Let's go.
Gigamigs, Poppy, Gigamigs. Ay. All right, here we go. We have our lobby being set up here. for our third series of the night. Vindicta, I believe. But I'm also scared of Coffee a little bit. Oh, God.
He's a scary guy.
It's scary. He's
a
terrifying.
Scary guy. He's powerful.
It's powerful. The most powerful. You know, things they're gonna get easier from here on out there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. Just have to beat everyone. We got this. We got this.
We got this. Here you go. You can hear the beeps. We're getting into the next game. Is the comeback a reality? Can we pull it off? Again, it was a really bold move for Invictus Gaming to field Coffee first out of all their players, but he's put in so much work already.
Yeah, that's right. A bit of a risk there, but it has paid off for them so far. They have matched up. He has matched up very well against the players of the CranKy Ducklings so far, but we have one left. It is the ace player so far, the big smoger himself. It is the American Terran in the red, playing for the CranKy Ducklings, Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Chinese Terran player himself representing Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee. Doing it again, puppies. Doing it again.
Yeah, Coffee starting things out with a proxy racks, and I'm honestly not too surprised here, especially with the ping advantage. This is definitely something that is a strategy that relies a lot on ping, and wanting to get the momentum coming into this series is very important. Best of two. He will want to abuse that as much as he can, but it does look like for Vindicta he's being very safe. Going to scatter around for proxies with this SEV. A little bit unfortunate with the pathing so far, but I do think he'll be checking the other side quite quickly.
Yeah, exactly. He does check the linear third base to begin with. Now he's headed on over towards the south instead. And looking at the pathing of the scouting SEV, he is indeed going to come across this proxy.
Yeah, so I know if I'm aware that Coffee might be going for this, Vindicta is definitely going to be aware, so he finds his proxy straight away and he will know exactly what he's up against, and he has time to mentally prepare, which can be really important as well.
Definitely. He can't stop this from happening, but he can prepare both in mind, in soul, in his hands. Oh god, is his first Reaper's already going to be on the way, factory being thrown down as well, but you were talking about it yourself, like this, a lot of this is also going to come down to control.
Yeah, it will be very important to see how he controls this one. Seeing this early as well does mean that he can go for the Marine after the Reaper, which is the more safe way to hold this. So that Marine will be starting up now, and he will be bringing his SCVs over to the ledge right in time to stop this first Reaper from jumping up. So everything going well for Vindicta so far, but this rush is only just beginning.
Oh yeah, exactly. Reaper forced back here for the time being, but the second Reaper is going to come in. Vindicta, I love that he's already in position, even throws down a mine prematurely.
Yeah, throws down that mine just to shoo back these Reapers. Does get his own Reaper out of the way as well, respecting the micro skills of Coffee, being able to get that hit. He does try to get the extra hit with the SCV there, not going to get it, so a little bit unfortunate losing the Marine there and not being able to take one of those Reapers out, but not too dire just yet. This is the next scary moment though for him, with these 3 Reapers coming in just as that Hellion is starting to pop.
Yeah, exactly. Still 3 Reapers available here for Coffee. They are able to regen their HP as well, but the Hellion does come out in time. Depending on the positioning, he can get some of that splash damage on these Reapers as well.
Yeah, Coffee doing a really good job with the micro though, getting a lot of damage on this depot, and will be very unfortunate if this depot goes down, because that does open up another avenue of attack for Coffee, and Coffee just going to dive on top of this Hellion. Very unfortunate that Hellion going down, and Vindicta's being forced to pull all of the SCVs.
Yeah, all the boys are being pulled here. Unfortunately, there was no repair on that first Hellion. We do have a second Hellion coming out. It looks like with this, he'll be able to eventually clean this up, but the target fire is there.
Oh yeah, Coffee managing to take those out, and it does look like this is starting to spiral out of control. None of these Reapers have gone down yet. First one going down just then, but Vindicta recognizing he doesn't have enough to defend, and GG.
GG gets called. Coffee takes another game, still refuses to drop a map, and unfortunately just the micro was just a little bit too good there for Coffee. He was so on point when it came to targeting down the Hellions, targeting down those Reapers, and keeping his own units alive.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate start there. That is something that it can be very difficult to deal with that strategy when you do have the ping disadvantage. So, Coffee playing it out the right way there and showing off some very good micro to get the win there. And unfortunately, that does mean that we will be going to the ace match, but that doesn't mean the best of two is over. Vindicta still has a chance to take out Coffee.
Yes, he does have a chance here. He can bring down Coffee and end his reign. But oh boy, he has to win this game. If not, we can still revive him. Don't get me wrong. But things are looking scary, mate. Looking scary.
Yeah, things are looking pretty dire. Coffee doing such a good job for his team so far, but we do have the next map on the American server, so Vindicta is going to have a chance to play his game.
Oh boy, yes, exactly. Right now he's just picking his map. He's trying to figure out what exactly he wants to play on here against Coffee. You know, what does he feel safest in? Oh boy, as as it's going to be inside and out.
Yeah, there we go. We do have our next map. So inside and out is a map that does favor defending a little bit more. It is one of those maps where you can set up with your tanks, you can sit back, draw out the game a little bit more, go to a bit more of a split map game. So it will give Vindicta a lot more room to play his game.
Oof. He will have a lot more room here available to him, so it's going to force a bit of a longer game, which I do think will favor Vindicta. Oh boy, but Asher, I need you to hold me, Papi. I need because this
Papi, the night is darkest before the dawn.
Oh god, can Vindicta bring the dawn, Papi? Can he bring it? Or are we all just gonna smudge tonight?
Will the sun be coming up, or will we be plunged into the darkness?
Oh god. We are about to find out. Looks like the players need a moment to prepare themselves. Oh boy, I may as well just show the screen here for the matches that have been played out so far. Again, we're already in game number 6. But Coffee just, he just can't be stopped, Papi. He can't be stopped. TVT unwinnable, mate. It's unwinnable.
Unwinnable, but yeah, we're just saying, Vindicta to give me a little message afterwards saying that he had 200 MS there, so yeah, it can just, sometimes just comes down to the day. This isn't the newest game ever. Sometimes the servers are a bit temperamental and they can be a bit worse than usual, so he'll be able to show what he's made of on this one.
Yeah, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I do think that Coffee is fully aware of his advantages and he's fully aware of, you know, when to proxy, especially when he does have ping advantage. So I don't see that happening again. So again, that's why I do want to favor Vindicta a little bit more here. But oh god, it's not just like I guess I'm thinking more like long term. It's not just about beating Coffee here. You know, there's still like the entire roster of Invictus Gaming left after this. And we're gonna have to go back there. We're gonna have to go back to Korea, Papi, at some point. Aye.
Yeah, that's true. We will have to return to that land, but for now we are in the USA. USA. Meanwhile, we are just waiting a little bit extra for Coffee. Oh, that's like some of the only Chinese that I can still remember from school.
Oh, what is that?
It's Halima. It's just like, are you good?
Okay.
Like, all good?
Oh god, we're not good, Papi. We're not good.
Yeah, we are not.
We're not good, Papi. We're not
Booyah.
Oh god. See, this is why I have you here, Asher. I knew that your Chinese from many years ago would come into play.
It's my several words of Chinese. I got you.
Oh god. All right, here we go. You can hear the beeps. We're loading on in. Our 2 players are finally ready. We're getting into inside and out.
Yeah, inside and out will be the next map, and this is the last chance to take out Coffee before the ace match, so it will be a little bit of a consolation, and we can see if Vindicta can do that, because here he is, spawning in the top right hand corner of the map. Playing for the CranKy Ducklings, it is the American Terran in the red, Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Chinese Terran player himself representing Invictus Gaming. Their ace player already taking down 2 Ducklings. Can he take down a third? It is Coffee.
Somebody stop this man.
Someone stop this man. Ah. Oh, God. Can he be stopped? If anyone's gonna do it, I believe in our boy. I believe in Miguelito, papi. Especially because, mate, everything's in their own main bases. There is no proxy this time.
That's right. The base is a base. The buildings are in the main so far. So we will be seeing a little bit more of a standard game coming out from the 2 players. So we'll have to see how the openings shape up here. I do still expect Coffee to be the aggressor here. He is known for being a more aggressive player. So it is possible for him to pull out something like the 5 Reaper 3 Hellion. We are seeing as well Vindicta going for an early scout, just making sure that it's not being proxied once again. We'll just check around his main base for the closest locations and then head back home with that SEV.
Yeah, he's just checking, just making sure that he is indeed safe, that he's not being clowned upon, and so far, I mean, we can see that he'll be perfectly fine. Hopefully he doesn't like mind game himself or anything like that, but yeah, he is good enough, and he recognizes it's a standard opener for the most part.
Yeah, does his due diligence there with the SUV. We'll bring that one back home, just setting up that spotting depot over in the corner of the base as well, and everything so far so standard from both players.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's been a while since we've been here. Last 2 games have been nothing but proxy, nothing but cheese. Oh god. And yeah, we'll see how things go in a more regular game. Again, like it's great to see Vindicta here. He did wake up, I mentioned it earlier, he did wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning for this tournament to make sure that he was ready for it, ready for everything. This is not at a great time for the land of the Americas, but he's got the passion. He's got it all, man.
Yeah, we got the commitment there, and we are also seeing straight away Coffee going for an early reactor there, so going 1 Reaper into the reactor. This is usually going to be a 5 Reaper 3 Hellion build once again, like we saw versus Dolan. So a little bit more of an aggressive build, but Vindicta by nature, more of a defensive player as well, so I'm sure he'll be well equipped to deal with this one, and very comfortable with the kind of game that comes out of this.
I would hope so. As that Reaper Cannon Heli count is getting even higher here for Coffee, getting ready to pull the trigger. Unlike what we saw from Dolan on Cosmic Sapphire, you know, he's not going to have the same response as Dolan to just go for a pseudo or like incredibly defensive opener instead. But regardless, Vindicta, you know, he's chilling here at home. He's not going to get caught out on the middle of the map.
Yeah, this is one of the current meta's most standard styles that's coming out from Vindicta here, and he's going for a very early mine. I love this as well. This shapes up really well against the build of Coffee, especially if this mine can get good splash on the Reapers and Hellions as they come up the ramp.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. We do have the bar on top of the ramp. I love this as well. A little bit of a nice touch. Vindicta will hide that Widow Mine with his Reaper, so it's going to be that much more difficult to recognize that it is there at a glance. So the ideal scenario there is if that mine goes off on those Reapers.
Yeah, and that is one of the features as well that makes this map quite good for the build that Vindicta is going for here, is that ramp does hide that line up until that last moment, so it'll be up to Coffee to assume that this is coming and preemptively send a unit forward, which he does do.
Yeah, there we go. 1 Hellion does soak that Widow Mine in the end. The rest of the armies are going to try and get into the main base. The Reapers will get up into the main. They do focus down that Hellion.
Yeah, some good micro coming out from Coffee, switching back those Reapers there, and we are seeing a lot of units going down from Vindicta, but he does manage to get his Cyclone out, and he hasn't lost too many SCVs here, so he will send those last few back to mine, and Vindicta is going to be able to clean this up, losing only 3 SCVs so far, but losing quite a few units in the process.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, it looks like Coffee will be completely cleaned up. Does get 3 of those SCVs, but this is okay. For the most part, the working counts are even between our players, and we can move on from here.
Yeah, importantly, the Cyclone wasn't taken out, so Vindicta does have his important tech units here, and he is going to be taking his 3rd straight away on location quite early and defending that with his units. So I really like this choice as well. He does know that the tech units from Coffee are quite delayed, so he's not going to be able to stop him from doing this.
Exactly. They're able to take that advantage here. Meanwhile, back at home, Coffee's going for his own third. It's going to be a little bit later as it is not going to be on location, so it does have to float on over. Meanwhile, Coffee posturing here outside the map. I was curious if he was actually going to move out, but no, he's just here just to make sure that Vindicta can't push in, can't delay him.
Yeah, just going to set up a little bit of map vision here. We do see Vindicta going for the double Cyclone build here, and he's going to get that final shot, taking out the Cyclone. So having these two Cyclones without any Cyclone in response from Coffee does afford him so much map control, and we can see that he's spread Marines out all over the map to gobble up that map control.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We've got Marines all over the place. Ravens are making their way across the map as well. So Vindicta just looking to try and catch whatever he can if Coffee does move out. And just like the game against Dolan, Coffee is going for that third Raven.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to send out these Ravens for a little bit of a harass. This is something that we've been seeing a lot lately from Terrans like Byan and Maru, the Korean Terrans especially, where they are using these Ravens not for early pushes, but instead to sit back defensively and just harass with those turrets. And looks like he's going to try to get a bit of harass going in both bases at once.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We do have one auto turret here into the natural. We do have a second Raven headed into the main base as well. Coffee hasn't quite responded. He doesn't have anything in position. Not the most amount of SCV damage, but again, at least some lost mine time as the Raven comes back into the main.
Yeah, just being really annoying here, denying a lot of mining time. There is a drawback, of course, to this Raven. Harass, meaning that you won't have energy if your opposing player does choose to push out really early, which is what Coffee is going to do in response with this 3 Ravens. But with all the map presence that Vindicta has, he's going to be able to see this coming straight away, and he's going to be able to set up defensively. So good adaptation, knowing that he has so much map control to send those Ravens out to harass.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, because of this, at least the Ravens were able to survive. They're now turning around, coming back home so they can be used defensively. The Cyclones do catch the army, and we do see that Vindicta is already sieged up back at home.
Yeah, it looks like Vindicta actually going for a 3 Raven build himself, so he will have plenty of Ravens to deal with. So he won't have quite as much energy of Coffee, but he does have the defender's advantage as well, so he has the resources he needs to deal with this eventually.
Oh god, that he does. Oh, this is still a pretty threatening position here. We do see a couple of Marines headed towards a natural base, but it looks like Vindicta is able to keep control of that. We do see the Ravens coming from behind with the disables.
Yeah, great timing coming out from Vindicta. Does recognize that the Ravens are a little bit out of position. He's going to dive on top of these tanks, pulling a few SCVs to soak up the shots as well, and with those turrets as well, he's going to take out every tank. Great decisiveness from Vindicta.
Yeah, exactly. Every tank will go down. Looking at the units tab here, Vindicta does hold on to his tank lead, and he actually keeps every single one of his Ravens alive.
Yeah, keeps every Raven alive, and that's a really good advantage for him down the line, because it does look like, yeah, he took out every Raven of Coffee. So the further down this game, the further along this game goes, those Ravens are just going to keep appreciating in value. He'll be able to save up matrices to deal with tanks and then jump on them. So that's going to set him up for a really nice tank push later on.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, Coffee, he recognizes his kind of disadvantage when it comes to those Ravens, so he's just pumping out as many of these Vikings as possible. He is able to just barely clutch out a Viking lead here. Vindicta only down by 1, but he does have Marines to make up for that, and he is also actually going straight into a Liberator.
Yeah, Vindicta just starting to pressure out on the map a little bit. With those Ravens, with the energy for the turrets and for the Matrix, he does have a little bit more value in his army just for the moment. So he will be enjoying that lead, and he enjoys a little bit of a supply lead as well. So yeah, I'm really liking this for the confidence of Vindicta as well. He took a very decisive move in that fight there, and it paid off. So that is going to help with the mentality.
Oh yeah, exactly. Hopefully that does take the edge off. Hopefully that does take the pressure off him a little bit here. Oh boy, as he's able to, again, just maintain control of his side of the map. We got a 4th base on the way, just waiting for the rest of our upgrades. And yeah, we're actually getting into some more medevac production as well.
Just pumping out those extra medevacs. So Coffee once again going to be looking to put on a bit of multi-pronged pressure using those medevacs to backstab, so making the most he can out of a little bit. This map control by Vindicta, he's relentless with it, and this is one of the things that's afforded to him by his great speed. He's a very fast player, and we saw it in his TVZs with all this harass, but one of the things that you can do in TVT with that speed as well is just be really on top of this map control with the spotter Marines.
Exactly. Marines all over the place. I love the scan on the main army as well. I think Vindicta recognized that, hold on, there was something missing there, but the drop barely does avoid the main army of Vindicta waiting to dive into the natural base. At the same time, Coffee is moving forward, threatening that third.
Yeah, his drop is just going to wait a little while before the army of Vindicta is pulled out. But the army of Vindicta is very large compared to that of Coffee's. Coffee only pushing forward here with 3 tanks, and we can see defensively Vindicta has his 4 tanks set up. He's got his Liberators, his Vikings, he's got more than enough to deal with this, and that affords him a lot of units to be able to split off and deal with the drop as well. So Vindicta just taking his lead and pushing it even further.
Yeah, and I don't know if that drop was necessarily worth it. I mean, he did get 4 SCVs, don't get me wrong, and there was some lost mine time, continued lost mine time here, actually at the gas geysers. But yeah, I do have to wonder if that was worth it here for Coffee, just because his main army is looking that much weaker. Like, there are 0 Marines here to buffer for these tanks. They are looking so naked.
Yeah, that's right. But the pressure, of course, is on Coffee to make something happen here. He's going to set up a massive drop into the main because he is... the impetus is on him to get some damage here, but Vindicta, great reactions here. He's going to jump immediately on these tanks. He's going to realize as well that these tanks are undefended, so he knows that he needs to defend the main, and he has units there already and turrets.
Oh my god.
Great defense from Vindicta.
Completely reading what Coffee was up to. The same 2 drops go down here in the process. Only a single one survives, and again, this is what I was worried about. Worst case scenario, as the final medevac does get taken down, Coffee went for a massive risk, a massive play, and he was just punished hard for it.
Yeah, I can understand the need to make a play in this situation, but Vindicta was all over it, and Vindicta has such a grip over this game now. Throwing down that scan, once again, knows exactly where the army is, and he's going to be feeling confident to push out on the map now.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. He is pushing out. He has to be careful because, of course, Coffee will have these defensive tanks. We do see a scan on the army, though, and Coffee once again loads up for a drop. Does mean that he's not quite in position.
Yeah, Vindicta catching him in the act there, trying to get away with a sneaky drop there, and he's going to be able to take out all of this army just with his Marines, and I think that will spell the end for Coffee, and finally, we have a win in the column for the CranKy Ducklings. Let's go.
1G? Really?
Mate, that should be 3 Gs.
That should be 5 Gs, mate.
Let's 5G towers.
Let's go, as Vindicta does fight back here. He has finally taken down Coffee, but that does mean that Vindicta is also taken down in the process as well, and now the Ducklings have to revive.
Yeah, so as we were referring to it a little bit with the ping, Vindicta was able to show what he can do there, and he really did. He showed such a fantastic defensive game, and we are able to at least get one on the board and start the comeback.
Boy, exactly.
So meanwhile, it will be up to both of the teams to pick out their next players. Invictus, of course, have a couple players to choose from, and we will be picking out who we have as our ace player.
Yes, and it is no surprise, but of course we are going to be whipping out and reviving Vindicta here in the next game. Oh boy. But who does he play against? Is it going to be XY or Maxed?
Yeah, I will say I think that XY might be a little bit easier for Vindicta just because he's so strong in the TVT. TVP has been like a little bit of a problem matchup for him sometimes. It is something that he's been working on and growing with, and Maxed is a player that he's very familiar with, so I do like his chances against both of these players.
Yeah, I do like his chances as well. Again, like we were talking about at the very start of the broadcast about how, in our opinion at least, Coffee was the kind of scariest player on Invictus Gaming. And with him now gone, like Vindicta can actually make a pretty deep run here. Not an easy run though, because again, like both XY and Maxed are great players in their own right. They are both amazing. You know, Maxed famously, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that he beat time last year in DreamHack Winter. Am I? No, sorry.
I have no idea.
I'm thinking of Cyan. Never mind. Regardless, though, Maxed is an amazing player. So yeah, of course, Vindicta has to take this very seriously as we get ready for the next game and the next player pick.
Yeah, so there will be a little bit of delay as they deliberate over this one, and rightly so. We do have a very strong player standing across from them, but it is a tall task that he has ahead of them. Ahead of him, I believe he has to 2-0 both of the remaining players. Am I right?
Yes. Vindicta cannot lose a game. Period tonight. Yes, a 2-0 the next two players, and then the revive also has to be 1-0'd. So yeah, he is up against the wall right now. It's Vindicta against the world. Vindicta against Invictus Gaming. Aye.
Yeah, that's right. But that being said, he went 13-0 coming in. Loses the one game. 13-0 again. Let's go.
True. Oh boy, I want to believe, mate. I want to believe. Oh god. So I'm just letting the observer know, as we're going to be getting ready for our next map here. It is going to be Moondance, predetermined. Moondance will be the next map of choice. This is when we find out actually Coffee played because Maxed and XY weren't available, and we get walkovers. Oh god. I don't know.
Yeah, they have something on. Someone called in something. It wasn't me. Yeah, but meanwhile we are just learning that one up. So, Light, how was your ladder sesh before this?
It was actually pretty good. I actually played against Jadoff at the very end. I hit Jadoff, which was fun. Mech? No, I pleaded him not to mech at the start of the game, and he went through with it. He didn't play mech. Yeah.
Wow.
I won.
Manipulating the ladder to your advantage.
Exactly.
I see how it is.
Exactly. Basically, Jadoff, he basically just donated free MMR. He just gave me like Oh my god. No, yeah, it was fun. I was streaming just before this, just preparing for our night. I was hoping to have a great time here, but it's been a rough one, man. I need a
It has been a rough one. You want to get back on the ladder, do you?
Time for the tilt stream. Let's go.
Let's go. Late night tilt stream. Hype.
Oh my god. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And of course, we were unable to cast to the DreamHack Taiwan Hong Kong qualifiers, which are going on at the same time. Unfortunately, because they do coincide with WTL. I didn't get to mention that earlier, but yes, we will not be casting the DreamHack Taiwan qualifiers today. You know, we have our priorities, and our boys are priorities here, our team.
Yeah, that's right. And here he is, just awaiting his opponent, and we will be on Moondance for the next game.
Yes, indeed. We still actually don't know who his opponent's going to be, by the way. They haven't told us. So
just keeping the drama up.
Yeah, we don't.
Stressing us out.
We don't know. I'm telling you, mate. Are we going to get the walkover? Are we? Oh my god, is Coffee the only one who showed?
Yeah, maybe they're playing the qualifier. I guess it's a Taiwan qualifier, but still.
It is.
Maybe they moved. Opium.
Oh my god. Look, I'm just looking at the in-game lobby, and I see Gumiho's here. I don't know why Gumiho's here, but
we'll be subbing in Gumiho.
It's like, wait a minute. Something's not quite right here. Oh god.
It looks like they might just be rounding up their player. Maybe they have to wake them up from an afternoon nap. Who knows? No judgment.
Yeah, we'll see. I think there is like a walkover period. I think they do have like 15 minutes or something. So I don't know if we're gonna wait for them, but it looks like we may have a player.
We have random cheater AI using any build. It will be taking on Vindicta.
Oh, it is going to be XY. Oh boy.
Yeah, it does look like they've picked out XY, so the TVTs will be continuing. And I'm kind of glad for that for Vindicta. He has warmed up with the TVTs, and I think he'll be feeling confident coming into this one, as we are on the American server once again.
True, we are. You know, he will be able to have that advantage going his way. Oh, and XY is going to be an interesting one, because yeah, we were lucky enough to cast XY last season's DreamHack, and and I was really surprised to see him actually go for a lot of 2-base plays. To be fair, we didn't get to cast much of his TVTs, but in TVP at least he would go. He was like on mono. He was pulling the boys, like every single game.
Interesting.
Oh my god.
It does look like a little bit of deliberation back and forth in the chat, but we do have him. We have XY here.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Maybe they were just confirming who would be up next. Oh, and it is going to be that XY again. Invictus Gaming are a team of 3 players, so if Vindicta can get through XY, it will 100% be Max at next. So, you know, we do at least kind of know that. So we kind of know the player order that's going to be ahead of us. Oh, but we do have our next TVT coming up next.
Yeah, we do have this TVT loading on in for Moondance, and yeah, the weight is on Vindicta's shoulders, but he has shown that TVT is a very strong matchup for him, and he will have the confidence coming out from that last game that, honestly, he was quite dominant in that last game.
He really was, mate. If he survives the cheese, he's fine, papi. He's fine.
And here is his opponent. It is spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, in the blue, playing for Invictus Gaming, XY.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Moondance ESL, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, the star player, the ace, hailing from the land of the Americas. It is Vindicta.
Alright, so we do see things starting up pretty standard so far. No proxies, no shenanigans just yet. Everything just going to be fairly normal starting out, and I do think that we will be looking at a bit more of a standard macro game now. I can't remember if I'm misremembering this, but am I right in saying that XY would sometimes go for mech as well?
Yes, XY has gone for mech. XY is also one of the few players in the Chinese scene that I believe he has taken a series off of time. I say relatively recently, like within the past year. Like the Chinese region is time stomping ground, and he has been the dominant player there for a long time. But XY, he has been able to turn things around in longer macro games with his mech.
Yeah, that's right. It can be a bit of an equalizer, especially versus a faster player. But I will say as well, that would be a very exciting matchup to see, because I know that Vindicta does prefer to play mech against mech when he scouts mech. So it could be a mech versus mech showdown, which is always really interesting to watch. Quite a chess match as both players kind of flip and switch through the text to try to surprise each other, and there's constant little small skirmishes throughout the map. It can be a very exciting matchup in TVT.
Yeah, I'll take your word on that. It's beautiful. Look, the things I'm willing to say now if Vindicta's doing it, okay?
Yeah. I'm saying mech versus mech. Now, mech versus fire, I'll agree with you. It's awful. It's terrible. But mech versus mech can be pretty cool.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing.
Just trust me. Trust me.
I trust.
He makes it good.
I trust, puppy. I trust. Let's go. As for the time being, we do see again some standard openers here. Both players expanding here on the low ground. Neither one, or at least XY, opting not to go for his reactor.
Yeah, Vindicta this time going for the fast reactor, so it could be him that's going for the 5 Reaper 3 Hellion build. And I know this isn't a build that Vindicta typically goes for, but it could be one that he could be going for when he feels that he has the micro advantage. And also, judging that he has a little bit of ping advantage as well, could just be looking to flex a little bit of his micro to try to take a quick lead in this one.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty interesting, right? How the turns have tabled, where XY is a player who is, going for his Widowmine back at home to try and get a burrow, to try and hide it, to try and be the defender, like Vindicta was last game. Obviously, there are pros and cons, right? The biggest difference on Moondance is that there is no ramp into the natural, so it's going to be easier for Vindicta to respond. It's going to be easier for him to avoid or to make sure that this shot doesn't get too much value.
Yeah, that's right, and it does look like Vindicta just going to be setting up these units defensively. He is going for the extra Reapers and Hellion, so it will be a full commitment to the 5 Reaper 3 Hellion. We will have to see as well if he goes from Medevac or Tech Lab on the starport. It is a Tech Lab, so no crazy shenanigans with the Medevac trying to circumvent the front, but it does look like he has a little bit of a timing aggressively here, and he will be able to see this mine as well. XY is being very conservative with his positioning.
Yeah, exactly. Vindicta even avoiding that initial ramp here just in case there was a mine waiting for him on top of said ramp. It is here outside the natural though, and Vindicta hasn't seen it yet as he does skirt on closer, and there we go, he has spotted it.
Yeah, he spotted that. We'll drag that one very slightly onto the units, but with this Cyclone out in time, he won't be able to push in too far. But very good job recognizing that quickly. Does save all of his units, save for the one Hellion that was used to drag the mine, and he will just keep these units out here for a little bit of map control.
Yeah, he does get deflected, he doesn't overcommit, he still has this army, so he can still maintain that control, goes back home for any kind of repair, and yeah, from here, both players just working on their Ravens. Unfortunately, Vindicta a little bit supply blocked, it will slow down his tank production.
Yeah, just a very slight supply block there, just gonna deal with that, but it's not too much of an issue. That tank only slightly delayed, and he does have his Cyclone out on the map ready to go, so he does have a lot of map presence here, and he will be able to play a little bit of a similar game plan to the last game where he just chews up that map presence and sits back as the defender on 3 bases until he's ready for his big push.
And speaking of 3 bases, XY, he throws down his own third on location. He's opting to go for the pocket base, so he will have a little bit of a base lead there. But now it's kind of on Vindicta once he does end up scouting, once he does end up expanding. If he does opt to go for a regular linear or triangular third, he will have, that advantage as well. Riskier, but also, more economic.
Does look like he's going to take that front third. That does, of course, afford you 2 gases. So taking this back base as the Terran in TVT, not something that you usually see just because you don't have that extra gas, and that extra gas is so important in this matchup. But it does give XY the option to take a fast fourth afterwards.
Exactly. So we'll see if Vindicta can get eyes on this and recognize how economic XY is attempting to be, as he's just going to siege up outside this ramp, just again making sure that Vindicta is going to have a hard time getting in, as again he's just still working on his own CC, looking to land at that third.
Yeah, this is the big chillin' time of TVT. This is the time, Light. If you can have this one moment to complain about TVT being boring.
Oh my god, as I was about to take that moment, we do see a little bit of a skirmish here. It looks like Vindicta does win out on the Marine
constant
battle.
action.
It doesn't stop, puppy. It doesn't stop. It's crazy.
You can't even get a moment to breathe.
Exactly. XY does replace his 1 Marine with 2, and Vindicta is none the wiser. He's going to be... Oh my god, but the Reapers are coming in, puppy. They're coming in.
Let's go. We have the showdown at the OK Corral. The 1 Marine standing strong. He's battered and bruised, but he will stare down these 2 Marines across the gulch, and the 2 jetpack cousins come in to take them out.
The cousins came in, puppy. Oh my god, and Vindicta does win out on that little bit of a trade, but he has to be careful not to edge too close here to this army, as he does take a couple of tank shots to the face, at least recognizing the position of XY's army.
Mate, did you hear what happened to the cousins?
What happened?
They got hit by a tank.
They got
You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it, man.
They got jumped by a tank. As every Reaper goes down from both sides, both from XY and Vindicta. We see a scan on the main army again. Vindicta is trying to figure out what exactly is going on with that army composition. As we have access to, both players are going bio. No mech.
Yeah, just throwing that scan down. Does see the 3 Ravens, so he will know that the defensive potential for XY in this position is a little bit greater, and I don't think we'll be seeing him go for a very early push at all. Just kind of getting out on the map a little bit just to establish some map control and a bit of presence here.
Yeah, exactly. Just warming up for the later stages of the game, as they're both just kind of fighting for map presence. We do see, we praise him all the time with Vindicta, having Marines spread out all throughout the map, but at the same time, XY is trying to take that from him here with his own force of Marines. Both players just backing off. You were talking about it earlier, XY is going for a faster 4th base, but Vindicta is in position to deny this as he gets scattered by that Cyclone.
Yeah, it does look like Vindicta's gotten the jump on XY here. He's used that map vision and clearing out the map vision of XY to establish his position. And it's something we were talking about a little bit earlier before. In TVT, sometimes it doesn't matter exactly how your armies stack up. It can come down to the positioning. So really good job by Vindicta to establish this really annoying position and can start to pick off at the production and in the main here, taking out all of these all of these add-ons.
Oh my god, but Vindicta was so quick, he disabled every single one of those Ravens. They don't get a single spell up, but is it going to be enough? Because XY is going to just collapse on this tank position and clean it up.
Yeah, really nice. Quick decision by Vindicta, taking out those Ravens. Takes out 2 out of the 3 Ravens before they can spend their energy, but he does lose all of his Vikings in the process. Meanwhile, he does save his Ravens, but there is going to be a bit of a trade of units. Neither player taking a supply lead considerably.
Yeah, exactly. We do see that both players are hurting when it comes to the amount of tanks that they've lost. A lot of those Vikings did go down for Vindicta, though. He is replacing them, and he will have the defender's advantage, so going for a counterattack isn't quite the easiest thing to do. And at least Vindicta was able to cancel that 4th base to begin with, and he can take his own 4th behind it.
Yeah, that's right. He's put a lot of pressure on, and he has delayed a lot the production of XY, having to build these reactors once again. These reactors take so long to build back up, only just finishing up now. So was able to be really annoying with that tank position despite trading out the armies.
Yeah, exactly. Damage was still done, and XY is still just forced to chill out here back at home, slowly get his bases back up and running. Sensor towers being thrown down for both of the players as well. Mate, we're back to Big Chiller.
Yeah, back to Big Chillin'. Meanwhile, we do have XY going for a little bit of an earlier air transition, so we can kind of see what the plans of XY will be. Not looking to take any big marine tank fights. He's just going to sit back with his tanks, just going to relax, chill, and get that air advantage. Try to go for earlier Vikings and Ravens, but it does look like both players starting to establish a bit of map control with their double drops.
Yeah, exactly. We just see XY rotating over on the right-hand side. He does get spotted by Vindicta, so he also responds with his own force of Marines. Meanwhile, Vindicta's army out here hasn't quite been seen yet. There is a depot kind of within vision, but no, doesn't spot that either. No one really pulling the trigger, just dancing in the moonlight.
Dancing in the moonlight, indeed. They're just going to skirmish, try to establish that map control. It does look like XY is going to pick up and try to get those in, but it is going to be spotted as well by this edge turrets. Similar to how we saw with Dolan. I do really like this move, having that turret on the edge just to spot, and it does allow Vindicta to be in position to clean up this drop.
Oh, exactly. The Marines don't really get much damage at all. We do have a couple of Marines here at that pocket base. It looks like SCVs will finally be targeted down, so Vindicta is sustaining some losses here as he will eventually clean this up.
Yeah, meanwhile, we do have a little window here. XY has delayed his upgrades a little, has delayed his marine production a little to start getting into that air transition. So there will be a small window here where Vindicta is slightly ahead of on supply, which we can see. And he will use that to try to get that 5th base up, and he does deny the 5th of XY. So nice little small leads here for Vindicta starting to come about.
Yeah, exactly. Going to be able to slow down this base. He's going to be able to slow down the infrastructure around it, the defenses around it as well. XY going for a massive marine run by. Not even a drop, by the way, just pure marine. As XY is trying to refine his army that little bit more. But Vindicta is already here in position, already has his tank sieged. Oof.
Yeah, XY looking straight to the lake, and we'll be able to save a few of those Marines. Is repelled by Vindicta, and meanwhile Vindicta is using his own Marines on the other side of the map just to delay and just annoy XY around this base, but he will throw down that scan. We'll see the tanks are set up, but this might be his signal to move out, and here he goes, moving out on the right here.
Yeah, I mean, Vindicta is maxed out at this point. He does have the army supply advantage. XY, for the most part, isn't in position. Okay, he is in between his bases, trying to keep up with the army as soon as it does show up on the radar of these sensor towers. And there we go, Vindicta reveals himself.
Yeah, we do have this little moment of weakness where XY is spread thin between his bases as he tries to spread out his tanks between his 5th and his 4th. So Vindicta going to try to abuse this a little, see if he can get a position, try to take out some of these tanks, but this map is one that you can rotate defensively quite easily.
Yeah, exactly. Vindicta wanted to try and bull rush up this ramp, but he saw all 3, 4, 5 tanks siege up, thinks better of it. No, he commits.
Yeah, he's going to be throwing down so many of these disables, and he's going to jump straight in. And we do see this huge marine advantage that he has been building up throughout the game, recognizing that XY is going for the early air and taking out so many of those Vikings. Vindicta recognizing his timing and jumping straight in there.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Who needs corporate reactor? Who needs Vikings when you have man with gun? As he sims on forward, he takes down the natural base. He can even go all the way to the main. Ups not to, he will back off, just trading even further with these tanks.
Yeah, taking out even more tanks. XY his base a little in shambles now as he scrambles to get all these tanks to defend, and this has been a very successful attack from Vindicta using this window where he does have the bio lead. He will recognize as well that he is a little bit behind in the air, so he is starting to go into that air with those Ravens, with those Vikings, and he was able to shave off some of the Vikings of XY as well, so suddenly he's gaining a lot of control over this game.
Yeah, he is. He's just rallying everything across the map to maybe press his advantage even further. I mean, the tank position is still quite strong here for XY, so breaking into the natural may be a little bit difficult, but he could just go for the planetary.
Yeah, that planetary is a little bit exposed. If he can start to use these Marines just to zone out these tanks, he will be able to leapfrog his tanks towards that planetary, and he is zoning out the army of XY. That is exactly what he's going to be able to do, getting those tanks in position. They can start to chip away at that planetary.
Yeah, at the same time, the Ravens of XI try to dive on in, but it looks like one of them barely manages to survive. Vindicta so crucial with this positioning of the Vikings. He doesn't have enough for air control, but they just happen to be in position.
Yeah, we'll trade those out. A little bit of miscontrol by XY as well, getting a little greedy with those Vikings, flying them over the Marines. And Vindicta is able to continue to set up this foothold as he puts pressure on this planetary to the left.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, here we go. The Ravens do pull the trigger. We'll get 2 disables up on these tanks of Vindicta. XY pushes on further even more, and it looks like he is looking to save and hold on to that planetary.
Yeah, that's right. He does jump towards his planetary, but Vindicta has the Marine count to deal with this. He has the disables as check out. He's realizing his situation. Calls for him to jump forward, and he's going to take down all of these tanks.
Wow, exactly. GG gets called, and Vindicta will take the first game against XY.
Yeah, great job by Vindicta there. Great patience throughout that game, just to slowly let his lead accumulate. And as he realized that XY being a little bit greedy with that air transition was vulnerable, he dived on that and was able to get the win.
Oh, GG, well played. There was just so much quote-unquote dead supply there for XY in those Vikings, in those Ravens, that he wasn't really able to make full use of. And I just love how Vindicta, he just saw the opportunity. He saw the moments where he could just overwhelm whatever was on the ground for XY. Even then, I wasn't too sure if like pushing into the natural again would be a wise enough choice, especially with the Viking disadvantage. But we saw that Vindicta somehow was able to get even more disables off. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, saving those 2 Ravens in the early game did so much for Vindicta there. He didn't dive them in on top of the tanks. He was able to just disable those Ravens, get out of there, save them for later, and they came in clutch towards the end there.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Very well done by Vindicta. But now we are getting ready for game number 2. We are hopping back over to the land of Asia, and it does mean that XY, he's going to be playing from home. He will have a better ping advantage. Would he be crazy enough to go for a proxy 2 racks?
Yeah, that's definitely something we could be seeing coming out from him as we go to this Vexty Manap.
Can you stop? Can you?
Don't encourage him.
I'm shaking my head, puppy. Shaking my head. Oh god, we are getting ready for the next map. Oh god, it is going to be XY's map choice, as it is a best of 2 and is loser's pick. Oh boy, so where are we going to end up? XY could have something prepared here for Vindicta. That's the other downside of the position that we're in, is that even XY, even Max said right now, they're probably planning on how to take down Vindicta, on what they are planning to accomplish against him. As it is kind of like a 3-on-1 right now.
Yeah, that's right. They do have a lot of chances to take him out. We could also see XY taking a little bit of an extra risk knowing that. So if he does have any sneaky strategies prepared that might be map specific, that might be something that he wants to pull out here, considering that his team does have 3 more maps that he can play afterwards, 3 more lives there. So there's quite a lot of options there.
Oh yeah, a lot of options available here to XY. He's just kind of contemplating what map he wants to play on right now and where we want to end up. Oh boy, as he is just trying to figure that out for himself. But again, you know, at least Vindicta fighting back, proving himself, proving his worth already.
Yeah, we do have this new map coming. If you have any channel points in the chat, redeem your Vexty Manaps now.
Oh god. We'll see. Oh, God, I don't even
It's
know.
okay. Swallow it all down. Breathe.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna do swallowing saliva first and then breathing.
Uh-huh.
One at a time, puppy. Let's go.
Oh, God. All right, here we go.
We can get through this.
Together, puppy, together. Aye. It's too early for this. Like, we have 2 weeks of casting to get through, and oh my God. Okay. Whew. I was linked to lobby, and I was like, is it really gonna be Stargazers? But it's the DreamHack Taiwan lobby. It's okay.
It's for a different game.
It's for a different game.
Stay away.
Oh, God. Does XY know that it's his map pick?
Maybe. You know, if he doesn't want to pick one, we can pick one for him.
Mhm.
It does look like we will just be sorting that one out. A little bit of a delay here, but does give Vindicta as well a chance to just collect his thoughts, to start preparing mentally for what might be coming his way, especially considering there will be that ping. But it does look like, I'm guessing that's Data C.
Yeah. See, oh my God, your Chinese is so good.
Incredible.
It's on point, puppy. Oh my
It does
God.
look like the Chinese for C is in fact C.
Oh, you cracked the code, man. You cracked it. Oh,
Sometimes my genius is frightening.
Aye. All right, here we go. So it is going to be Data Under the Sea, one of the more macro-oriented maps, I feel. So, yeah, I say that, but I mean, we did see some cheese on it earlier from Coffee.
Yeah, we did see the proxy racks earlier, and that is something that XY can go for, again, considering the ping difference, but there is a lot that's available on this map. I will say as well, this map is a map that can be quite good for mech. It is a very defensively favorable map, considering the angles that you have to take to get up towards the bases. So that is something that I've been seeing a lot, people kind of camping on turrets and tanks, so it could happen. Just prepare yourself, it could happen. You're gonna be okay.
Oh boy. All right. Let's stretch, everyone. Let's get ready for the TVT on Data C. Get ready for the oncoming mech. Is my question to you is, Vindicta, historically, does he only go mech as a response, or does he ever instigate the mech?
I feel like, at least on his stream, mech is used as a punishment for the other player. If the other player has been bad and they're in trouble, they get the mech.
Ah, I see. XY has been bad.
You're like, punish him, puppy. Punish him.
puppy. Punish him.
Meanwhile, here he is. And he's spawning up here, once again in the top right-hand corner of Data C. It is the CranKy Ducklings American Terran in the red, Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Chinese Terran player himself representing Invictus Gaming. It is XY.
Would you look at that? There's no SCVs on the map.
Thank God. Oh my God. Beautiful puppy. You know what that means? That means that Vindicta, he can get to punishing, you know?
I don't know how much I want to keep going with this. I think it might be time to stop.
Spank him, puppy.
It doesn't mean double down.
Look, I'm just supporting my co-caster, okay?
Calm down. Let's just calm down. Let's be civil here.
We go down together, puppy.
You're like, why did you say that? I don't think you're going to want to go on the record as having said that, but I guess I can't do anything about it now.
Look, the door's been opened, okay? It's wide open. It's wide open.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do see Vindicta being extra careful here, not only scouting for the previous proxy spot where he was hurt before, but he will go into the main just to double check that everything's there. So it does look like things are going to be standard so far, and XY eking out just a small advantage here by not going for the scout himself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't blame him, you know, like, because Vindicta is on his last legs, you know, why not open up standard and why go for any kind of risk like that? Like, XY, you know, he's got the rest of his team to fall back on just in case anyway, so why not, you know, take or cut as many corners as you can? There's good reason for it.
Yeah, that's right. So he will just use his Reaper to double check that there's no proxies, considering that he did skip his scout. We'll see that everything is normal, fine and dandy, and we'll go for his expansion. Meanwhile, on the side of Vindicta, we can see his expansion just a little bit delayed, considering he went for that early scout, but otherwise things looking pretty normal coming out from both players. It's very standard opens.
Yeah. I guess the biggest difference here is that this time, unlike the previous game from XY, he is in fact actually going for that reactor.
Yeah, just going for an early reactor here. He does already have his 2 Reapers, so this could be for a number of things. This could be for a tank drop or for a cyclone drop. Most likely just going to be something that starts off a little bit defensive, and then we'll see if he opts to go for a medevac or a Raven out of that starport.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we do have the regular defensive play here from Vindicta. They're just working on his 3 Reapers, working on his Widowmine as well, just getting ready for any kind of Reaper aggression that's going to be coming his way. We can see that XY isn't going for that, but again, Vindicta just playing it safe.
Light, do you feel like you're learning a lot about TVT openers? Maybe it's time for you to, you know, give off racing a go.
No. I don't want it. I don't want it, puppy. Oh my god. Look. I just want to get good at Zerg, okay? It's tempting though, because it means that I won't have to play ZVT anymore. It is
true.
tempting.
You'll have to play TVT, which is far worse.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, meanwhile, we do have that tank drop coming from XY, so he will be going for that after all. Is a little way for him to get some map control, but a lot comes down to how this first push turns out. If he does lose his first tank, that can set him back very far, so this can be a little bit of a risky opening to go for. It just depends how this first little skirmish goes.
Yeah, exactly. The Cyclone is out. Widowmine is going to scout this, by the way. Does confirm the drop is on its way. Ooh, doesn't get a shot off, but this will give Vindicta a heads up.
Yeah, he will lose this, but it does mean that he can get this Cyclone in position, and that means that that tank can't set up that pesky position below the ramp. He will just have to settle for this position here, where it doesn't really threaten too much, and XY is going to recognize that and try to find a different spot he can put it in, but that buys enough time for Vindicta to get his own tank out.
Oh yeah, here we go. The tank is now sieged up in position. We have an auto turret on the low ground as well. Looks like the tank of XY is going to be focused on not just the tank, but also that medevac barely survives.
Yeah, it takes out the tank, does get the lock-on on the medevac as well, and Vindicta has definitely taken the lion's share of this engagement, taking out so many of the units, even getting that tank lead, and this sets XY so far behind because he has delayed his Raven to get this opener out, and of course he does lose that tank lead as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, props to XY. You know, he was flaunting his pickup micro a little bit there. I was very impressed. But, mate, even with 200 ping Vindicta, he's got it, mate. He knows that he has the entire Ducklings behind him here. He fights back and he holds.
Yeah, he holds a powerful hold, in fact. And he will be able to start to look to get his third up. XY does have this little lead, but Vindicta scouting this with the Reaper, just making the most of what units he has left over from the early game, will even just be a little bit extra annoying here, taking some time out of that tank stay. And we do have a small tank lead starting to accumulate for Vindicta.
Yeah, he is up 1 tank in the end. We also saw a little bit of Raven harass attempted by XY, or maybe a misrally. Does run into a Marine and is forced to back on up. Oh, XY actually going for another drop into the main.
Yeah, XY just going to keep utilizing this medevac. Took it home, healed up a little bit. We do see the scan going down from Vindicta, so he realizes what kind of situation he is in, and he's been very disciplined with the Cyclone, leaving it in the main for now, so this drop will have to be very well timed to get damage.
Yeah, I have to wonder if Vindicta recognized that the medevac was missing here from this army, from this scan, as he is aware that it was able to escape earlier. So maybe that's why, again, he does have that that Cyclone in that main base. He's going to try and get in position to expand and take another, as the medevac is slipping on into the main.
Yeah, the medevac going to choose his time now to pull the trigger, and do you see what I see? Do you see it?
I see.
The Rax is in the air because he doesn't need it anymore, puppy.
Oh my god, he heard us, Papi. He heard us. He's getting ready to punish XY right now as he's throwing down 2 more factories. This is all scouted by this drop. Oh, nice target fire. The Cyclone is going to go down, which means the Medevac can escape.
Yeah, good damage here with the Medevac arrest coming out from XY, but does it matter? Because he's going up against Mech.
Oh no. So there's gonna be Mech against Biotank here, but XY is pushing out across map. Again, he was able to scout the production. He knows exactly what he's gonna be up against. He still has 2 of these Ravens. Compared to the 3 of Vindicta. Not much to help protect these tanks though as the Ravens come in.
Yeah, the Ravens come in, they will be throwing down those turrets, but there will be defensive turrets going down for Vindicta. Even lands the Vikings to take out a few of these, so good micro there just to defend. Very quick with the Raven land, and he's going to throw a few SCVs forward just to tank a little bit. So all in all, just a trade out of units for now.
Yeah, they do end up trading units. I was very impressed that Vindicta was able to get 2 disables out just in time, and XY is going to be forced back. He only has a single tank remaining. He does have the Viking lead here, so Vindicta has to respect this. He will back off, and Vindicta holds.
Yeah, it looks like XY there, just recognizing that it was Mech that was coming his way, wanted to get a bit of momentum on his side, wanted to start jumping on these low unit counts. This is a bit of a weak moment for Mech. Just as you start to get your production up, you can't quite pump out as many units as you can with Bio, and you don't have the map control, of course, so there is a bit of pressure on XY to start to get some damage here.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we have the counter scan from Vindicta just to make sure, okay, you yourself are not going into Mech or anything crazy like that. Recognizes that, okay, we do have Bio Tank on the way, and Vindicta, he can just chill, he can just turtle, just do his thing. He can punish.
It's like, mate, there can only be one. Only one of us can Mech. I'm not getting punished here. I've been a good boy.
But you said Vindicta usually doesn't go Mech versus Bio, though, right? How does this work?
Yeah, it's not his choice. Look, this is time for the punishment. It doesn't matter who it is. If they need punishment, they're gonna get it.
Oh no. Okay, well, here we go. XY, he's going to be pushing out across map at the same time. 2 Hellions are going to slip on in and goes a delay on this 4th CC. So, nice little bit of annoyance here from Vindicta. He scans that the army is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, the army is not at home, but the spotters are here for Vindicta, quickly reacting, even pulling back that Marine, and he will be able to reposition his army. So, he might not be able to take this 4th just yet, but he will. He's built the CC in a very safe location, so he does have the option to fly that out to whichever base seems safest.
That he does. Meanwhile, Vindicta also rotating with his own tanks. He only had 1 tank in position, now he has 3, but XY, he wants in. He's pushing up this ramp.
Yeah, XY pushing forward very aggressively, but does lose a lot of his bios very early in that fight. We're even seeing a disable going down on the Viking just to try to get the Viking lead effectively. Vindicta here is going to trade out a lot of these Vikings.
Yeah, he is, but XY still has that Viking lead in the end. He does have the air control. He has the tank lead on the low ground as well. At the same time, Vindicta goes for a massive Blue Flame Hellion run by.
Yeah, great run by here, slipping in. He's going to be able to equalize the SCV. Already been wrought on the other side.
Oh god, exactly. So both players hurting here when it comes to their economy, but XY does have his 4th base on location. At the same time, Vindicta's having a hard time just pushing this back. Again, any Vikings that float in, they are going to be focused down.
Yeah, and Vindicta is going to have to push out and try to break this position now, so he will leapfrog the tank slightly forward using some of those Marines just to buffer, but he loses a lot of tanks immediately in the process, and this wasn't a very successful move for Vindicta.
Yeah, exactly. He did clear up all the bio, but he couldn't get on top of those tanks in the end. He is forced to back off. Thankfully, he does land his 4th base on location, so he still has a decent economy behind this, but again, he just cannot break the siege.
Yeah, that's right. He does have a decent amount of mining going down here, but this is a very annoying situation to deal with, especially with that air control. It's going to be quite hard for Vindicta to do anything about that. We still have Bio dribbling in, but now we see the Liberators, and that will be Vindicta's sign to give up this space.
Yeah, exactly. He has to give it up. He has to back off in the end. The CC itself may end up falling to the DPS of these Vikings. You see XY forcing himself up this ramp.
Yeah, pulling in the SCVs for the repair, and that does mean that he will have to stand under the Liberation Zone, so he will be sacrificing those Vikings just to take out those Liberators, taking, once again, not the best trades, and that will be XY's signal to start pushing up.
Yeah, there we go. He's going to try and get on top of this production here. He's going to try and get... Oh my god, but there is a tank on the high ground for Vindicta, able to shell away and take out one of the tanks of XY.
Yeah, very well positioned on the tanks there. The reaction's a little bit slow for XY. Wasn't able to get vision up on the ramp there, so he does just have the 4 tanks here, now 5 with the reinforcements. But he is going to go for a drop on these tanks.
Oh my god, he does go for the drop. Unfortunately, there aren't really any Hellions to speak of to help buffer for this. Gonna force you on siege on at least some of these tanks. At the same time, Vindicta is getting into Thors.
Yeah, that's right, and these Thors are an alternative way to start dealing with this advantage that XY has in the air, but this is scary moments here for Vindicta as he tries to survive.
Yeah, at the same time, with those Hellions across the map, 7 more SCVs go down. Oh my god, I just realized, look at the worker count. Vindicta, far ahead in the economy, does take another base, actually double expands behind this push. I'm shocked that he was able to get that to happen, and now all he has to do is hold. He just has to defend long enough, he has to turtle up long enough to actually make use of that economy.
Yeah, Vindicta pumping those workers. I'm glad to see that he did recognize that he made a few too many. Does manage to cancel those last few ones. This is, I don't think you want to go any higher than this on the workers.
Yeah.
So. He does have a really nice economy here, so if he can survive a little bit later into this game, he will be in a nice position, but that is a big if with these Liberators pushing forward.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the siege. Tanks are going to be going down. The biosims on forward. Is there enough to really survive this push? I don't know if there is. There's only 1 tank left.
Yeah, it does look like XY is going to win this fight, and Vindicta is going to fight his heart out. He does know that the CranKy Ducklings match is on the line here, and it won't be down and out for us, but it does mean that we will be pushed down into the lower bracket.
Yeah, exactly. XY forces himself up into the natural base. Liberators are siege on top of the ramp as well. Vindicta fighting his heart out. He does have a decent tank line here in his main base, but he's going to lose access to his natural.
Yeah, losing the natural, losing the third here, Vindicta just fighting his heart out, and we have seen throughout these games that Vindicta does have an amazing fighting spirit. He has been able to pull himself back from some very tough situations, but losing the mining here on the 4th might just spell the end of this one.
Yeah, exactly. Just doesn't have enough. TBT is just a little bit different here, as we do have Marauder landed, taking down another one of these tanks. The reinforcements are headed towards the linear 4th base. I don't think XY really knew that this was here, but now he does have eyes on the mining bases of Vindicta.
Yeah, XY is putting on so much pressure here, and Vindicta barely able to mine. The income is really dropping off, but really nice attack with the mines here. Just take out all of these tanks, but 30 SCVs have gone down.
That was an impressive fight. Now Vindicta, his army is headed on over. He needs to protect this base. He needs to hold on to his 4th. I don't know if he can, though. He does have those 2 tanks. He can dive in with his mines again.
Yeah, he's going to rush forward with those mines, but the scan is good. The Marauder spread is good. Those Marauders slightly outranging those mines, and XY feels that he can push forward here and jump on these army, and with that much bio surviving, the SCBs are not going to be enough.
Yeah, they're not going to be enough in the end. 1 more tank, 2 more tanks will fall, but GG gets called, and XY does it. He takes the game, and he takes the series for Invictus Gaming.
GG, and Vindicta, he fought his heart out. He did such a good job taking out Coffee, taking out XY, but it just wasn't enough in the end, and we will be seeing the CranKy Ducklings for the first time in this World Team League losing the match.
Yeah, we've been doing really well for ourselves in the qualifiers, but here in Code A, we did struggle a little bit here, especially against Coffee. Like, Coffee had, I mean, props to Coffee, right? He had an insane run today. He took down every single one of our players. He took down PattyMac, Dolan, and Vindicta. We had to revive Vindicta because of Coffee. Oh my god. So yeah, it was a rough start here for us. But as you were saying, we're not out of it yet. There is going to be a lower bracket. I do believe that we can make it through. It's just going to be that much harder for us to make it through as we do get knocked down.
Yeah, that will be a tough one. I do have to say, glad that the Plat Heroes was so crazy, the performance that they had, but I'm glad that they didn't knock Onside down into the lower bracket.
True. Oh my god, yeah, as we are going to be facing the loser of License to Kill and SSLT. They're going to be playing next. So yeah, we do have quite a road ahead of us, quite a road indeed. Again, I do believe in our ability to make it out of the lower bracket 100%. I do think, like, giving us another day, giving us maybe a different kind of starting lineup, that we could take down a team like Invictus Gaming, but today They were the better team. They were a little bit better prepared. GG.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting the better of a few of those games, and a great performance coming out from Coffee. So props to him doing it for his team.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, we're gonna be done a little bit early today. You know, our WTL matches are usually casted a little bit later, but we were scheduled a little bit earlier. And yeah, if we wanted to, we could stick around and cast LTK versus SSLT. But I think we I think we need to bow out and lick our wounds a little bit after that one.
Yeah, I think you need to take the breaks where you can get them.
Yeah, true. But GG, everyone. GG. We'll be back. We'll be back in a couple of days. Quickly checking here. Oh, we'll be back tomorrow.
No rest for the wicked.
Oh my god, we will be back tomorrow, because looking at the schedule, tomorrow first is going to be Platinum Heroes versus Alpha X, and then after that we will come in against the loser of LTK and SSLT. So yes, if you want some more WTL action, we will be there tomorrow, doing our best, fighting our heart out to try and continue our run in Code A. Oh god, again, a rough start here against Invictus Gaming, but you know, we'll get our revenge. Okay, we'll come back, Bobby. We'll come back.
Yeah, that's right. We're down, but we're not out, and we even have our chance to get. Actually, no. I read the bracket wrong. I was like, we might get our chance to get revenge, to get the rematch, but no, it looks like that's not how it lines up. So there you go.
It's not how it works, Papi. It's not how it works. It's okay.
Let me have this one.
GG. Again, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket. To bring some perspective into things, top 4 teams actually qualify for Code S, so we just have to make it into the top 4. And I do 100% believe that we are top 4 caliber. Like amongst all these other teams, we just have to get there. We just have to have some good days, some good matches. Yeah. Maybe next time we'll just send Vindicta out first. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the players are feeling on the day. Maybe he'll just be chomping at the bit to get out there. He'll say, "Let me be the coffee this time. Let me take the ball down."
True. Aye. God, again, Coffee was a beast today. Oh my god. We knew he was gonna be hard, but Jesus. With that, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Asher. Are you streaming this week? What's the plan?
Maybe. I was actually... So I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the cast was going to be at midnight. I forgot that it was at 10 o'clock. So I started building my computer. So right now my room is a mess. There's parts everywhere. I'm like halfway through the build, like bang on halfway through. So I don't think I'm going to sleep till I finish it. So hopefully it will be up and running tonight, and I can start to think about doing that later on during the week.
Oh, exciting times. So check out Asher on Twitch, AsherBro, as he is going to start streaming soon TM, so check him out there. And yeah, with that, we're going to be heading off. Our next cast is going to be in a couple of hours, I believe in 8 hours. I'm going to be casting the DreamHack, I believe, North. Oh my, is it going to be DreamHack NA?
Ooh.
Yeah, the DreamHack really? North America qualifier for Atlanta.
Nice.
So if you want some more Dolan, if you want some more PattyMac, they're going to be there.
Let's go. Lots of StarCraft coming up. Plenty of StarCraft. So much so that I don't think you're going to have time to stream personally, but once you do have time to yourself, once again, once you've gotten those 500 day ice coffees into your body and it's all over, where can they find you?
Find me at light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I stream throughout the week. I was streaming earlier today as well. Just some cheeky ladder sessions. You know, we're just trying to not to smudge, and we're Zergs out there trying to survive. You know, we're just trying to live. I'm trying to live, Papi, and yeah. You can follow me there if you're interested. But if you only want some CranKy Duckling casting, then check us out here on the CranKy Ducklings, all over the place: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. And yeah, we're also competing in World Team League. Again, a really rough start for us here today in Code A, but we will be back tomorrow, and I believe in our boys. Okay, I believe that we can come back. And and make a comeback a reality. So yeah, make sure you're a part of that. Make sure you're here tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. We are down, but not out, and it looks like Vindicta, his spirits are not broken. He's streaming already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Give Miguelito much love because he put in a lot of work today. Okay, like if he was on his second life, you know, like he was the only duckling to win some games today as well. So give him some love, give him some support. I'm sure he was a little bit sad as well after the game. So you know, be there for him. Be there.
Yeah, that's right. So we do have those games to look forward to tomorrow, and obviously such a great achievement for us to get into Code A, but we want more. We want more, puppy.
Yes, we want more. Thank you so much everyone for watching. We'll see you guys in 8 hours for DreamHack North America. We'll see you guys in 23 hours or 24 hours for our next WTL match. Just make sure you're here. Follow us all over the place because we're going to be live every day for the next 2 weeks. I don't know if I'll survive.
Yeah. You always do, somehow.
I always do. See you guys next time. Ciao.
Bye.